Hello, everyone, and welcome to the inaugural Summoners War European League, the first edition that we are having here in Europe. I am your host, Sam, and joined with me today is, of course, the almighty, the ever-present Seishizu.
What's up, guys? Good to be here. Good to be casting again. Sam, are we excited?
We are super excited, and we're back together. 2 out of the 3 that you might have seen before from the SWC, but we're here today to bring you all of the live crazy action that's going to take place in our first ever European League. The first of its kind for Europe at this point in the season, with the highest level of RTA competition that you will be able to witness here today. Now, obviously, this is a brand new format. It's different from anything that you might have seen or experienced from our SWC. And for that, we're going to be going through and explaining a little bit more kind of about what is going to be happening in this specific competition and how things are going to run over the next 8 weeks. Obviously, we're going to be here right now at 8 o'clock on a Wednesday. You'll see us every single weekday here. Oh, not weekday. Every single Wednesday of the week here at 8. If it's every weekday, say, we might be rather busy. And hopefully this video will help to explain a little bit more and we'll go through it as we see it. So obviously we've got 12 players. We've had 12 players that have qualified to this stage already, and they are now in a league. This league is going to happen every single Wednesday, like we said, at 8 o'clock. They face off against their other opponents, and it's going to be ranked on a point system. Each match is going to be a best of 2, so you have 2 sets, and each of those set wins is going to count towards a point that will go on the overall leaderboard. In total, there are the 12 players, but only 8 will actually make it through to our playoffs, which will happen at the very end of this competition. When we get to the playoffs, we'll be going through kind of another knockout tournament in order to see where your seeding got you, in order to see how far you can progress in the European League. And obviously, there's prize money to be won here. That's why these people are taking part in it. And that's why they're here today, right? I mean, it's brand new. It's brand new for Europe. It's a different format. There's maybe some things that are less stressful compared to an SWC, some things that are more stressful. What do you think we can encounter in today's format, how it's different from the SWC?
I definitely like it a lot because in SWC you have the prelims, you can lose one match there and then you can still progress on. But here you could actually lose multiple matches, but if you still keep the good winning mentality, you can still win like later on and maybe progress through it, maybe check like replays of last week or see how you could improve. And that's definitely a format where you can like, okay, it's kind of chill. It's okay to lose a few here and there, but you can still progress on. And also in the tournament later, we have best of 5s ending in best of 7s, which we haven't seen in Summoners War format so far yet, as far as I know, but I'm pretty sure about that as well. But let's look at the contenders of today.
Exactly. We've got our schedule here up for day 1. So out of the 12 players that have already qualified for the European League, we'll have a total of 6 that are playing today, and then 6 will be on the next week, and it kind of, jumbles around to make sure everybody faces off against each other. Some of these big matches here, who are you looking out for right now on this?
Well, for me, what kind of stands out is Guts the Berserker has a very rough first week. With that first week that he has to play against Obabo, Hansol, and Roid, which are currently the highest ranked 3 in Europe on the leaderboards as of speaking right now. But also Angel has to go through the same path as a newcomer. So that's maybe not the easiest way to start off your league by saying like, I gotta play against the 3 best competitors. However, if you get good matches in against those people, you might just zoom through like the whole league for the rest of the week. So might be getting a rough start, but if you make it work, it can work out very well.
Exactly. It's how you set yourselves up, right? If they're going to be playing these harder competitors at the beginning, it might mean they need less points as the league goes on. We have no idea yet. This is going to see how it kind of comes into fruition for the rest of the league. And we've got actually here our first player, Adrey, who is going to be involved in the first match of the European League. Highest ever rank achieved in RTA was 85. And one thing that we did see earlier, all of the players were asked their favorite rune sets. Right here, we've got Endure.
Yeah, Endure is definitely a different rune set than most people would go for. People would go for Swift, Vio, Will, maybe add in a Despair. But Endure definitely does say me something about saying, I like to farm that Elunia, because Elunia gives the ancient runes for Endure, and he probably got some very good ones of those. However, to me is the question, where do you place those Endure runes on? It's commonly on a Kinky before, but Kinky is not as great anymore, so where are those Endure runes at the moment?
Exactly. I mean, it doesn't really matter where they are as long as they've quads, They are what they are, And as we look at his opponent in this first match, we've got Hansol. We know him from last year SWC. He managed to get 3rd place in Europe, and obviously, like his name says, He is very much a fond player of Han. Again, this time showing that he likes his Swift sets as well, say.
Yeah, if you have those quads that we're talking about on those Swift runes, we're definitely going to be zooming through those first turns. And that is also the playstyle that Hansol likes to play around. Likes to play a lot of that Cigar, but paired with that Yon Hong that's extremely dangerous. Does a lot of damage, but is also very fast. So definitely a player to look out for. Also currently, as of speaking, the highest ranked European player on the leaderboards.
Exactly. Will that put him in good stead in this competition? Obviously, it does reflect what you're doing in the ladder in terms of what you can do in competitive scene, whether it be an SWC or the European League like today. But you still have to come up against different players. Like we said before, this is somewhat different. There is going to be the pre-bans. There is going to be kind of a more you need to win mentality. So does that mean you have to change up your style? Are we going to see more usual aggressive European play, going for that turn one and making it count? Or will we see something different? And as we can see right now in front of us, Adrey versus Hansol is going to kick things off for us in the European League, which is so good for us. We're going to see Adrey versus Hansol going in to this very first European League. Oh, I'm so excited, Say. How are you?
Yeah, definitely. I want to see what these guys have been cooking up, because this is also something from League Day to League Day. Are you going to be switching a lot of runes, or are you going to work around the same system that you have been working throughout the first days? Or is it actually something that you might just switch around a lot, or would you just not change a winning team? That's what we're going to find out right here, right now.
Exactly. So we're just waiting for the match right now to kick off. But will Adrey take his chance against an experienced opponent? Let's find out as we have Adrey versus Hansol in the very first League Day 1, Match 1, Set 1 of the Summoners War European League. And as we can see, they're already coming in with the pre-bans. We've got a Yonghon on the side of Adrey and the Moor on the side of Hansol, say.
Yeah, definitely that Yon Hong. I spoke about it a little bit before. Very respected unit to be banned in this position. It's definitely one of the core units. And also steals the unit that is mainly picked by Hansol as well. Hansol very fast answers with a Zima unit we don't see too much.
No, it's definitely new. He's partnered it up there with an Oliver. Maybe a little backstory of these players as well. They've played a total of 14 times on the ladder in the past 2 seasons, with Hansol actually coming on top 10 out of those 14. So he's in a good position right now against Adrey, as Adrey is looking to potentially lock in a Chandra. Let's see who else he might pick with that, say.
Yeah, Chandra is definitely interesting. I would say that against the Zima, a unit, a Vert, that's definitely an interesting one. I was more aiming towards a Hey Gang or anything. However, Hansol does like to go for his standard LDs. The Salah, he hasn't been using too much on ladder, I've seen, but he did use it to great success in SWC last year.
Yeah, we saw it a lot in SWC, doing a lot of crazy work for him. And obviously picking there the Han as well. It's his signature unit. It's something that he's going to be trying to pick. Looks like Adrey is potentially going for a Josephine here, say. How do you think he can best answer against the Salah Han?
I definitely do like the Josephine in combination with the cookie that is also named Angela. I'm pretty sure, not 100% sure, don't have me on that one. But the combination of that is you get a lot of shields, and then based on those shields, you start dealing damage. It's actually a comp that was made popular by Timbo, or at least he made it popular at SWC. But on the other side, we have an Ella. That's a unit we don't see too much. It is the Light Totemist. Hansol definitely does like to use it a lot, and it decreases a lot of those cooldowns. So a Han that is on the low cooldown unit is not going to be even a lower cooldown.
Exactly. It's just going to be more damage output that he's going to be able to do if he can cycle through all of those turns now. He did lock it in, and we're seeing now who they're going to be going for the bans. This obviously is going to be very huge. This is the first match. You want to try and get 1 point or 1 set on the board in order to take it through to the next round. The Verd is banned and the Oliver is banned, say.
Definitely interesting bans on that. I was kind of thinking about Josephine, because if that's a loss in the match, Josephine is going to be having her passive up multiple times. There's things going to be stunned, and therefore she's going to provide that shield all the time. Then again, the third ban definitely does make a lot of sense as well, because that's really steamrolling that team. And we have a 55 resistance lead, so that's gonna make Han and Salah hit a lot less of their skills.
Exactly. Here we are, League Day 1, Match Set 1, Adrey versus Hansol. This is to kick things off in the Summoners War European League. Salah is going to be going first. Oh, let's see what he can do. Second skill is available, obviously. Let's see if he can get any of those. Gets the silence away on Cigar.
It gets a silence, and that's a very crucial, well-placed silence over there, because now we can go for a lot of damage on that. We get an additional turn. Does instantly delete a very tanky unit. That is so much damage on that side of that Han.
Wow, that was a lot of damage, and managing to already put Adrey at the down one unit is going to be very painful as this match goes on a little bit further. We're going to see now how he can kind of come back with that 3 versus 4.
Well, that's very difficult because we talked about it. Ella gives cooltime increases. Han already has the skills up. Han goes for another cycling. Nearly deletes another unit that Han is dealing so much damage. But there we have the Josephine finally picking up that passive. But it is maybe a little too late in this position already.
Yeah, that's so crazy that obviously Han can then go through, cycle through his skills, manage to deal off way more damage, nearly sniping out 2 units within 1 turn of his whole team there, say.
Yeah, definitely something that's very dangerous. We can get a little bit of healing in, but I'm not sure if there's enough side on or enough damage on the side of Adrey because you're just gonna have the Josephine damage, and we have that Han going in for the 3rd simple solution, and he's just cleaning the units of the battlefield over here with another additional turn, taking 18k, nearly taking out the Josephine. And Angela is a very strong unit in the right comp, but a 1v4 unit against this is absolutely not possible. And we're going in for the 4th, the 5th simple solution. Han next to an Ella is just spamming those skills, and it's doing so much damage.
Wow. Han, literally every single time we've seen him come up and get ready to do an attack, he's got the 3rd skill available. Cycles then again with all of the crit going through. And there we go. Hansol taking that first set against Adrey. He has really come alive already in this European League from what we can see there, say. How does Adrey answer to that?
Yeah, that's definitely a difficult one. He tried to pick it up with the Josephine. However, Salah is an inconsistent unit. So if you're picking it to expect to get stunned, but it's an inconsistent stunner, you might not get stunned, and it actually doesn't happen. And before that actually happened, you already lost a unit that's supposedly very tanky. So definitely a dangerous one. I would say banning on that Han in the pre-ban is very likely to be happening.
Let's see then. Does he respect it? He does. He respects the Han ban, and we can see an Escher coming out on the side of Hansol as well. Oh, wow. I mean, maybe he's got another damage dealer ready to partner up with that Ella instead, say, but Han was crazy the amount of damage that he was just doing there. And he's going to lock in that cigar to seal it back from Adrey.
Yeah, that cigar is definitely his signature pick as well. Now he has the cigar plus the Yeon Hong open. Does Adrey go to his comfortable picks? What I would recommend to do, and he actually does that with the more Chung Pong. Very fast lock-in from Hansol. You can see Hansol plays a lot of matches. That's just like Matsumari. Oh, you pick this, I pick that. We do that all the time on ladder. And then he has his Chandra plus the Yeon Hong in there.
And there we can see a Carnal and an Eleanor. Actually, just to mention that as well, say Hansol has played over 4,400 matches in the past 2 seasons. He definitely has the knowledge of knowing exactly what these units are going to be doing for him and where to pick them best. He's trying to potentially lock in the Dark Robo here. Obviously, he doesn't have a Han available to maybe use it for a speed lead. What else can he partner it with? A different speed lead. Oh,
Double Robo
action.
Double Robo is definitely strong. Double Robo signals to me that Hansol is playing like, no matter what you pick 5th, I'm gonna ban that. Unless it's a worse pick than you already have on the field. But those double Robos pretty much hard counter what's on the side of Adrey already. You do have the interaction where more will get a turn after those, but Adrey is really thinking of something like what would work right now. Maybe a Diana, maybe an Amduet, like those passive units you're looking for. Could have been a Douglas, but I expect that 5th unit of Adrey to be banned. However, what do you ban on the Hansol side?
Exactly. It's always good drafting if you know that you're going to be banning that last pick of your opponent. It means that hopefully you've kind of won the draft to some extent. Obviously, now it's the time for Adrey to really consider and think. He goes for the cigar ban, but we've actually got a more ban instead there, say.
Yeah, interesting. So I did slightly mention it, like, unless it's worse than what's already on the field. And in this case, Hansol did not have that much faith in the Amduet. So let's see if Amduet can actually be a unit, because it can be very dangerous.
Yeah, it can be very annoying. As we go into the match 1, set 2 between Hansol and Adrey. Can Adrey claim back an extra point? We've got the Yonghon going first. Is going to go for the Chumpung strips and sets up this Robo now, say.
Yeah, it definitely makes a lot of sense for this ban on the Moor right now, because the 2 Robos on the side of Hansol do not have any immunity. So for that reason, it's a lot easier to be pushed back by that Moor. However, the Amduet had a chance, did not really take it. And in this case, Hansol is so much in the driver's seat right now that I don't really see like a good potential for coming back, unless there has to be something crazy happening over here. Can we get the stun on the Cardinal? We do not get the stun on the Cardinal. Could that be the moment for Adrey to come back in this match?
Let's see, because now we've got Chandra taking turns. He's going to be putting the slows onto the Cardinal and the others, and now we've got Robo. The Cardinal's going to be taking a turn, I think, say.
Yeah, Cardinal can take a turn. You need a lot of stunts right now. You have to go for the skill 3. How many stunts do you get? You get 2 stunts, which is not too bad. However, you needed that Yeon Hong stunned over there because Yeon Hong still has that healing up. Very strong skill. Full attack bar. Gonna give it to the Robo. Robo still has skills up right now. AoE on that skill too. It's going to be very detrimental for Adrey at this moment.
Exactly. He's got some turn cycling going through right now. And to be honest, the Amduat hasn't been doing too much apart from those early stuns that he managed to get on the Chandra. But as we're going in now, Younghong's going to be doing a lot of damage here.
Yeah, Yeonhong is probably going to take one of the units off the field. Not enough. Is this the comeback potential? We get a counter because of that defense. And that defense will probably make it that... Yeah, there's just no coming back from this. We have no passive units. Also, the Alet Noat on the field hasn't been taking any turns. And the only turn she will take will be the turn that will actually kill her. Unless she's taken out on the battlefield right now.
Exactly. So there she is. She has gone. Wow. Hansol coming in now then. With the 2-0 against Adrey, that's setting up perfectly for him on the leaderboard that's going to show that he's going to be top at the moment since it's the first match. But for Adrey, he has gone 2-0 down and he didn't manage to get a set win to get him onto the leaderboard. Is that going to be... How's that going to work for him in the future, say?
I think if you have the right mindset, like it's okay to lose one match. Like it's not an issue. You can still recover, come back in your previous matches or in your future matches. Like look at the match you have to play against Obabo, you have to play against Roid. Not gonna be easy though. But those are definitely matches that you have to be looking at rather like, okay, what should I have changed? Like it's now all about looking at the future. But then again, for Hansol, congratulations, a very nice start on this all.
It was a very, very clean win, especially that first set. I really love the tech that he brought with the Ella and the Han. It was just setting up for perfect skill 3s every single time. And we can see again here, I mean, I don't know how much of the replay you'll see of Han, but every time Han took a turn, he had that skill 3 available again. It's just crazy to be able to cycle through all of that different stuff. And we can see in the second match, the second set, obviously Adrey came back with the Amduat, but it didn't quite do enough. So it was probably the best ban on that more than in the end, say.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's kind of either or. I would give it a 50-50 to that one. It could be that the Amduat would have started stunning the team. It could have been that the Moor would have started stunning the team. So it's kind of a 50-50 ban. However, the Moor has the speed lead. So having that speed lead removed also makes a lot of the other units a lot slower. So I definitely do respect that Moor ban over there. However, it is somewhat tricky to go in with the double Robos if you do know that you're not on will. So that's maybe something that future opponents can look at.
Exactly. Right now, when we know all of the players are going to be watching, they're definitely looking at who they're playing later, how they can tweak certain units to make sure that they're ready for those different matches. And actually, for those two guys, out of the whole of the players, these are the guys that don't really stream. So you don't really see many of the matches. Actually doing our research on some of these players, a lot of them were already starting to delete replays as well, say. So it was quite hard to work out exactly what they wanted to do. But in this kind of format now, they've seen what can happen. They need to prepare as well as they can. How do you think Adrey is then going to prepare for those future opponents that he has that you mentioned?
Well, it's going to be a difficult thing. There's always two options, what I would say. Like, play whatever you're comfortable with. However, the opponent probably does know what you're comfortable with, so that would maybe hard counter it. Or just try to completely flip the script, try something completely else, but then you're looking at another 50-50. Is that going to work out, or is it going to be worse what you're normally doing?
Yeah, exactly. It's the risk that sometimes you have to take. We've seen before in an SWC, it can happen and it can come to fruition. If I remember correctly, a Guts play with a Swift Raccoon that managed to completely change the script for him against Obabo. But obviously, they're going to be facing off at some point in this league as well. So I'm so excited to see the rest of the stuff that's going to be happening. Hansol is going to take a lot of confidence now into those next matches, say. Do you think he keeps with the kind of Ella, Han, Salah kind of combination?
Well, for him, it's definitely been working on the leaderboards, and he's also been showing that towards the other matches that he's been doing right here, right now. So I definitely think he will keep the same playstyle, yes.
Here we go then. We're going to be showing you guys the players from the next match, and we've obviously got here Angel. As you can see, he actually highest ever rank is 296, just managing to get into even qualify for this tournament, but then made it through the qualifiers as well, all the way through into the top 12. This could be a crazy underdog story for him. We saw the Maximilian. How important is that unit going to be for him?
Maximilian is definitely very important for him. However, it's also a thing on the matches where you have pick and ban. Maximilian is very easy to be banned off. He also pairs with specific units such as the Veronica. So if you ban one in the one match and then the other in another match, it might be very difficult. However, I also did see him pick up the Windy, which has been made popular over the recent few days or weeks even. And that's definitely an interesting unit to see if that can work against Obabo right here.
Exactly. The formidable opponent being Obabo, getting a legend rank as well before. Interestingly enough here, he's put his favorite unit, rune set as Nemesis there, say. Do we have another Elunia fan?
Yeah, Elunia is definitely a interesting dungeon for these players. The moment that you get these ancient runes in, they can be very strong. In the end, they have a way higher potential to get on like way higher rune quality than these normal runes. But you have to roll them good, and that's just the main aim of the game in that one. But let's see where he plays that Nemesis set, because Obabo is definitely a player to be known to switching around these sets. Like the sets kind of stay together, but they go around from unit to unit. It could be on the Netna, could be on the Bella, could be on the Han, could be on the Dark Monkey, could be so many units. Did Obabo actually switch runes for this? Is he gonna switch runes every time? Or is he gonna show us what he's been doing on the ladder and on his stream the recent days?
Exactly. Actually, interestingly enough, when I was looking at some of the replays to learn a bit more about his playstyle, you could see the different content pieces. You could see which units were being used when the YouTube video was coming out afterwards. So we've obviously got here now Angel versus Obabo. This is going to be a baptism of fire, I think, for Angel, coming up against Obabo. He's been there before. He's played in these types of competitions. Not this one particularly, the SWCs, but it does give you all of that experience to then take forward as we go through to the next matches. I'm going to push you, say. Who do you think is a favorite going into this one?
I would say I would have to give the favor to Obabo. In the end, like it's rank 1 against rank 300, more or less, right? It's kind of betting on like a extreme underdog, if we would say like Angel has a really good shot here. But I think Angel also has somewhat of that underdog feeling. I was like, okay, I got nothing to lose. Let's just go in. We already made it here. Like he also thanked his community for being here in the first place, because at first he was like, I'm not gonna sign up. Like, how can I compete with those guys that are all like top 40 or top 30 or something like that? And his community was something like, nah, just go. Why not? If you lose, no problem. And if he keeps that mentality and then he actually starts winning like he did in the qualification, and he brings that to this as well, that would be very nice. So definitely someone to be feared, because he has a strong monster box right there.
Exactly. It's something that we're going to find out. Actually, these guys have faced each other a total of 8 times during the past 2 seasons with a 4-4. So they're 50-50. And let's get into it. Whether I'm right or wrong, will Obabo break him, or are we loving Angel instead, say, as we're going into League Day 1, Match 2, set number 1, Angel versus Obabo. We can see the pre-bans coming in. There is a Veronica band and a Sekhmet. Is this going to be a speed battle, say?
I definitely would say that it is a speed battle. Obabo definitely is known to be liking turn 1. However, he can also switch around to the turn 2 with like Minato, Monkey, and Angel picking up that speed lead right away with that Vanessa. So we're definitely looking at some kind of speed battle over here.
Exactly. So Obabo now, how's he going to combat against the Vanessa? We've seen that the 33% lead is there. He now does hold something like an Oliver, going instead for the Chandra and the Etna there, say.
Yeah, Athena. I would say I've seen quite some Athenas. His Athena is world class. It's literally one of the strongest Athenas over there. But we're playing it today against a Juno and a Ragdoll.
Yeah, changing things up then on the side of Angel. Maybe not going fully out for that speed contest, seeing that the Etna coming out, and obviously probably knowing just how world class it is, as you said. Obabo now going to be going in for those picks. Also maybe slowing things down with the Dooman and also with the Han there, say.
Yeah, Dooman is definitely a very strong pick over here. Dooman skill 3 can still land on the Juno and kill it in 4 turns, and then Vanessa can't revive that. So absolutely strong pick over here. We're looking a little bit more on like single target killing at the moment rather than AoE killing. However, what is the right answer for Angel to go into these? There are still quite some strips. We are looking at a Minato. Are you going to go for more passes, maybe adding in... Okay, Ghost Protection with Abusa.
There we go. We've got Miniata and Awusa there locked in on the side of Angel. So it has changed up from what we originally thought from the pre-bans. But we're going to go into it now with Obabo. A little bit more time to consider exactly what he wants to go for in this last pick. Who do you think he's probably thinking there, say?
Well, I was actually exactly thinking that a Raccoon, because if you go to Raccoon, you get some nice protection for your whole team. It's probably a ban on that Minato, and you can just kind of bruise it out. Actually goes for a ban on the Ragdoll instead, and is planning to probably ignore the Minato for quite a while.
Here we are then. We're in match number 2. This is Angel versus Obabo. in the first time for the Summoners War European League, and that Etna is going to be taking that first turn there, say.
Yeah, Ethna, are you gonna go for a Wusa and try to stun it right away? He goes for the Minotaur and destroys the Minotaur HP by quite a lot, so it definitely does get stunned. There's no Swords of Cleanse over here, so let's see what we can do. We drop some damage on that Han, but the Han is looking very lively by that Draconi Cleanse at the moment.
It is, and he's deciding to use that second skill of Rakuni onto the Etna to get some more turn cycling. But Wusa does have the third skill available, puts up that shield, puts up the immunity, and can steal some health as well there, say.
That is absolutely a world-class Ethna right there. We're looking at 2 fire units. Both fire units got armor broken. Perfectly set up for the Han. We have seen Han do a lot of damage in previous matches on that Juno. Somewhat less damage than we saw in the previous match, but still a lot of damage, taking that unit out in one go with an additional turn, also taking out the other unit. These Hans are just destroying people right here.
Wow, Han is the star of the European League at the moment, but it's time. Can Angel have a response right now as we come back? Chandra using that defend onto the Etna, allowing the first skill. Oh, say this is going to be tough now for Angel to come back.
Yeah, definitely. You definitely needed that Wusa sleep on that skill 1 to keep this Han from moving that many times, taking that many turns, destroying that many units. Rakoni getting an extra turn, probably goes back. Oh, just more protection. We're gonna play it safe, totally fine as well. But either how, this is looking very favorable for Obabo.
Exactly. We've just got one unit now, the Wusa. He is going to concede there, Angel, with that last unit. Obabo coming out on top in that second match, and it's our first set. So he's got 1 point on the board. It's something that's crucial. Remember, every single set win counts. It counts towards your points on that leaderboard, say. The Hans are scary, right?
Yeah, Han, once again, I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see a Han ban on the next round. But I would also say that Ethna is such a important factor for the whole draft of Obabo. So banning that Ethna is definitely a strong option as well.
Here we go. There we go. You've called it. Etna has been banned. That world-class Etna. Get her out of there. Angel doesn't want to deal with that. And on the side of Obabo, he decides to take away that ragdoll option for Angel as well. Do we now see a speed lead coming in from Obabo? He's going to stick with a Han. Is he going to go for a Chandra? Deciding the Sekhmet that was pre-banned earlier.
Yeah, Sekhmet is kind of interesting because that gives Angel the chance to play like the comfortable pick. However, Obabo is very fast on his units as well. So is Angel going to be fast enough against the fast units of Obabo?
Wow, we've definitely got a speed competition going here. So we see the Oliver, we see the Escher coming out from Obabo. Does Angel, like you said, stick to the stuff that he knows? It's always good to have that muscle memory when you're playing so that you know exactly what you're wanting to do as it goes into the next picks. But are you always playing against somebody who has been a legend before?
Yeah, that's definitely a difficult one. Plus, also, the rune quality on that is very dangerous. We're going back for that Minotaur right now. Cannot be destroyed in this case by that Ethna. Obabo, how are you going to react to all of those heavy damage dealers that are your opposing side showing to you right now?
Exactly. It's his time to answer. Remember, if he gets this, he gets himself 2 points and he joins Hansol at the very top of the leaderboard. It is a chance for Angel to get 1 point against one of the very tough players that he's going to be facing against today. He goes for the Sonya. And they're into the water pure vanilla cookie as well.
I'm not too sure about that pick because that leaves Obabo with just 1 speed lead. In this case, you could easily play around removing that Oliver, pick another fast unit, and you're probably going to take that turn 1. However, are you going to have enough damage to, after that turn 1, also clean the whole team of Obabo? That is the unit that Angel's looking for right now. And apparently not. He's going to go a different route.
There we go. We've got a Carlos on the field there, say. Who do you think is going to be being banned out then? You said the Oliver. Do you think he takes out a speed or maybe even the Veronica on the side of Angel? How's he going to tackle this?
I would say that if you ban the Oliver, you have good odds to outspeeding if your Veronica is fast enough and he bans the Carlos. So that is a risk that you could take, but he actually bans out the pure vanilla cookie. I would say banning the Oliver, maybe still a better position in here.
Here we go then. We're in match 2, set 2. Angel versus Obabo. This is to get another point to secured on that leaderboard. Escher is going to be moving first, followed by the Sonya very quickly after, say.
Yeah, we have the Sonya going on the Maximilian, and that definitely instantly destroys one of those units. We have the Sekhmet cleanly landing her skills as of this moment, and is not going to do anything. Like, that Veronica, very strong unit, but if it doesn't have any skills, it's going to take quite a while for it to do anything. More, do we get any despair stuns? We get 0 despair stuns, but we give a lot of attack bar to that Sonya.
Exactly. That Sonya's going to keep taking more turns if you don't manage to crit on her. Escher is going to be coming in now with that first skill. Had to go against the Minato.
Yeah, that Minato, we also already figured out where is that Nemesis set. That Nemesis set is in this case on that Oliver, or not on the Oliver, on the Asher. Asher is slowly getting a little bit of Nemesis in, but it's also dealing so much damage as of this moment.
It is. Oliver's coming up now. Remember, if you look at it now, Angel has got 2 water units on the field against 2 of the strongest wind units as well, they're saying, Sonya and in Oliver.
Yeah, let's make that 1 against 4, and he knows how that works.
Here we go then. Obabo coming out on top. He has managed to take 2 set wins against Angel. That puts him on the same level points as Hansol at the moment, and Angel not managing to get a single point. But remember, that is a tough match to start off in the European League. We have had 2-0 points as well. So we were discussing before, we thought maybe there could be some 1-1s in this, but at the moment it's clean sweeping. What do you think of that?
Yeah, it's definitely clean sweeping, and that's different from what we have seen in the qualifiers. Maybe also the players are more familiar from the qualifiers, but in the qualifiers we did see a lot of 1-1s because you have one particular match with one pre-ban on both sides in the first one, and then another particular pre-ban match in the other one. So you can get very different dynamic of matches where one is a complete speed battle and the other one is a complete bruiser battle just because of that pre-ban. However, in these cases, we have seen that the veteran players do know how to play around both of the playstyles, both of the bans, and we have just seen Han doing a lot of work.
Han has been going crazy. I just want to say I did get a Han recently, but mine doesn't do anything like that, say. So I have no idea how they've managed to make that work. But that's why they're here. That's why they're in the European League, and that's why we're behind the caster desk, or me at least. You should be.
I'm perfectly fine here behind the caster desk, but I can tell you these guys, Hans, they have insane runes, but also insane artifacts. Han is one of those units, and that's really what you see from transitioning from like high G or like lower G3 around rank 300, for example. People have good runes, people have good monsters, but they're mainly lacking on those artifacts. And what we see right here with both Hansol and with Obabo, they have really good artifacts as well, and that just amplifies on having those good runes. And that just makes Han or other units, Ethnas, destroy opponents really fast.
Exactly. We can see actually it's been very fast already. We've seen 2 matches within 30 minutes right now. This is going Godspeed. That's all I can say. They're playing really well. They've obviously been training and preparing for this. We're going to be going soon into our 3rd matchup of today, and that's going to include 2 new players that are involved in this, and we're going to see them right now. So first one up is Guts the Berserk, as we know. He's obviously been at SWC before in the past. Highest ever rank achieved in RTA is 33. Vigor is his favorite unit there as well, say. How do you think he's going to deal with today's competition being Pink Roid?
Yeah, Pink Roid competition again for Guts is a very difficult one. We've seen the records on those. We have seen them play best of 5s against each other in SWC, in prelims of SWC, and it was always in the favor of Pink Roid by pretty much 3-0s. So this is the moment for Guts to shine, to maybe pick that Vigor. I'm not entirely sure what he wants to do with the Vigor in RTA. It's very good for Siege, it's very good for a lot of content, but for RTA, I haven't been seeing it too much except for Special League, so if there's one person to surprise us with some weird picks and he makes it work, I would say it would be Guts. So definitely show us some of those.
Maybe. I mean, maybe he got confused. It's the European League, remember, guys, not the Special League, this one that we're playing in today. So we'll make sure that we enjoy that, as we're going to be seeing now Pink Roid, probably the fiercest opponent for any of these players in the league. Obviously, rank 1 achieved, has been to the SWC World Finals many a time now. We can see his favorite unit, Zarath, there, say. Do you think we'll actually see a Zarath today?
I'm not sure. I would say that he was picking quite some Zarath, even first picking Zarath and still being top 20, top 10, maybe even higher than that, which is really insane by just having like a pick that most people wouldn't even pick as like the last pick. However, it was in a very strong meta with Shizuka, and Shizuka is slightly nerfed right now where skill 2 doesn't bring the cooldowns back, and therefore it's not as strong next to a nuker as it used to be. So I don't think we will see that Zarath, but Pink Roid is definitely one of those players. He keeps all options in mind. Like if something fits, he will lock it in. He will find that unit. He will think of that unit and he will lock it in. And that's just the sheer experience that he has of playing so many matches throughout so many years, so many best of 5s that this man has been playing. So definitely a very fierce competitor.
Yeah, his muscle memory when he's playing is crazy. He locks in picks so fast, and you can see here, League Day 1, Match 3, we have Guts the Berserk versus Pink Roid. Just to give a little bit of information, they've played a total of 8 times over the past 2 seasons on ladder against each other. It's a 100% win rate at the moment for Pink Roid. And even in the SWC, it's a 100% win rate for him as well. So Guts really has an uphill battle during this match, but it's his chance right now. He's got 2 sets. Let's see if he can get a point or even 2. Maybe he wins. Let's see. This is what we're here for, to experience it during the European League. Anything can happen over these matches. Let's see how well prepared they are for that specific opponent that they're going to be playing against during this European League. Say, who's your favorite going into this one then?
Well, I would say, like, if the win... I'm a statistical guy. If there's 100% on one side, I can't really say. Even though Guts is my guildie since recently this season, I really would like to see Guts at least take one match. I really want to see Guts win, actually, because that kind of, levels the numbers of not being 100%. But I gotta give it to Pinkroid. If there's a 100% win rate, then he probably will take that one as well.
Here we are, then. Will history repeat itself with this match? Or will they settle for a smile and a fond farewell, guys? As we go into match 3, set number 1, Guts the Berserk versus Pinkroid. We can see already the pre-bans that have come in. Kitan Dasheng and the Escher as well there. Say, what does that tell us about what's coming up?
Both are very comfortable picks for one and another. It's really, I've seen Pinkroid pick up a lot of these GT and Dasheng just to go with that Swift more, going with very fast other units. And Guts is actually showing he goes back to the Korean style of last year and going in with a Vanessa and a Camilla. Definitely Guts is very good rune quality, and with that good rune quality, it's definitely something that can make these units shine.
Exactly, we're going double Valkyrie action. This is something that we all wanted to see. Oh, Pinkroid potentially changing it up. Say, we were speaking about the names beforehand, but I've got the wind one in my head. What was it called again?
This is Jongnam. It's a unit that's actually been picked up by Lest, the winner of SWC last year. He's been using it quite a lot. It's a very strong unit. I would almost say it's like a Dark Monkey, but then very good. It has the AoE stun. It has a strip on the skill 2. That is a similar damage style as Wusa. And it just has so much stun, so much sustain, and pairing that up with a Cigar. But on the other side, we have a Smicer. Let's see what Smicer can do together with a Raccoon. Or not a Raccoon, a Riley.
Yeah, there we go, coming in with the Riley. Wow, this is some crazy picks, to be honest. It wasn't something we were necessarily seeing in the replays. The Raccoon is potentially being locked in there on the side of Pinkroid instead. This is very different from what we were probably expecting there, say.
Yeah, definitely very different. Also, both of the players have quite some LD5s. There's a Julian on the side of Pinkroid. There's also, Guts has a few of those that he could be locking in. But we're not showing any of those. We're going like the normal elements, but very strong in slot units. And that Fire Cassandra with the Raccoon definitely is very strong there as well. Picking up that Diana, and that Diana is most likely signaling, I'm banning off that Fire Cassandra.
Exactly. He's thinking about it though, so he hasn't quite locked it in right now. He's got it up. Maybe deciding to change up, going for the Wind Monkey instead. I think that still signals a Fire Cassandra ban, though. Yeah,
I would definitely say a Fire Cassandra ban is very imminent there. However, on the other side, we have a Riley ban. That does mean that Smicer has the options to land a lot of those debuffs.
Yeah, exactly. Here we go, then. Match 3, set 1. Guts the Berserk versus Pinkroid. This is in the Summoners War European League. Moore is going to be going first. Second skill available. Manages to get the strips, but a stun back from the monkey, say.
Yeah, stun back from the monkey, and we're going to see a lot of those probably. We did not get a stun on both of the wind units, which is relatively normal to see happening. However, it's not that great for Pinkroid right now. But there's also a lot more sustain on the side of Pinkroid, because on the side of Guts, it's only that Camilla with slight healing.
Exactly. There is going to be a revive on the side with Vanessa, but in terms of that sustain, it's not going to be there. We're going in. Can we get the Baran resisted against that, say?
Yeah, it was resisted, but that was a lot of damage. Like I said before, it's similar style damage as Wusa. It's a clean, ignore defense based off your own HP damage. So that's going to add in a lot of damage as well.
Yeah, it is. And now we're going through, kind of circling through all of those turns as Moore's going to have first skill available. Can he get an attack break? Keeps it on that monkey for a little bit longer. And Raccoon just managing to push up again, say.
Yeah, definitely we're looking at the monkey. Can the monkey get into some stunning cycling at some point? That could be the opener for Guts, but that proc into a skill 3 of that Cigar is going to drain all of those attack bars that were finally filled up at this moment.
Exactly, that's reset Guts back, his whole team, with the Maw coming in as well, and getting the stun, but Raccoon is there to cleanse anyway, say.
Yeah, that Raccoon, every time that something is slightly low on HP, it is also probably having that stun. And because of that, Raccoon just cleanses those up. And we go back for that big stun on Jongnam.
Yeah, the big stun, but the big animation for the stun as well. It's crazy to watch. Smicer doing a bit of work, throwing around those silences, say.
Yeah, it's a little bit of silence. And also since recent buff is also giving slight healing. That's actually a healing I already forgot about. Smicer as 1 is a heal right now as well. But if those attack bars are that low the whole time, it's very difficult to get those in. And still, the whole team of Pink Roid is looking very lively.
It is. Camilla has the second skill available. Can she put the freeze on? Does get the freeze and the slow, and even gets an additional turn as well to do a bit more. Can Smicer start taking some turns, getting some bombs off, starting to get some more silences?
Yeah, those silences are definitely helping. However, if you tumble in all of the damage into one unit, Draconi is going to be there. And Draconi is doing a very good job so far in cleansing those off. Also, in this case, Draconi just doesn't overtake the HP bar or the attack bar, so it doesn't cleanse before the defense break was going in. In this case, this is damage from enemy max HP. This thing has a lot of HP, so we're gonna do a lot of damage. Getting that additional turn, is that the moment where Guts is back in the match?
It is. It's now 3 units to 3 units. I think Smicer can start taking some turns here as well, say. Like you said, managed to get that damage on 1 unit, but then managed to get through against the Raccoon.
Yeah, definitely very strong. And that healing of Smicer is definitely keeping things very lively at the moment. Right now, who's the target? That's actually quite a squishy Moor that Camilla's doing a lot of damage, or a combination of both. But that Moor is gonna take off this battlefield right now. And we're gonna look at a 2 against 3 in the favor of Guts.
Wow, Guts coming out with the big plays there. Obviously, the healing coming from Smicer into great effect, and the Camilla as well. With that Cigar silenced, it can't do anything, say. Now it can.
Now it can, but on the side of Cigar is also max HP scaling. So Cigar's damage is gonna go lower and lower, whereas the Monkey damage is gonna get more and more. The Camilla S1 damage is gonna get more and more. Bomb damage of the Smice is gonna get more and more. You can kill on the skill 2. I'm very confident that you could have killed on the skill 2. But Pink Roid concedes, and we have the victory for Guts.
Wow, going against the stats here, say. Guts has come out with 1 set against Pink Roid, getting his revenge from all those previous SWCs. Crazy to see the different play there coming out. Obviously, the killing of the Dokkaebi Lord was a big moment there, say. Do you think it's a unit which Pink Roid will take into the next set as well?
I definitely do think it's a strong unit, but it's also a unit that he maybe wasn't too familiar with playing. In the end, it ended up against 2 wind units, where it just has a lot of struggle stunning those units, and that's also what we can see, especially that Wind Monkey. I was thinking about the Diana pick as well. I haven't seen too many Wind Monkeys, but Wind Monkey over here against the Jongnam was very well placed and actually did a lot of work, bringing those defense breaks in, getting getting his turns pretty fast the moment it was stunned, being able to stun the enemy when they were hitting, so it definitely was a very strong pick over there.
Yeah, super useful to partner that with kind of stuns, defense breaks, and then the Smicer applying, obviously, all of the silences, still getting the heals, and then the occasional bomb. It's really something that was put together, I think, very well by Guts in the end there, and Pink Roid didn't quite get rid of the Smicer when he probably needed to. And we're going in now, they're taking a bit longer on those pre-bans, and it's coming in with a Tian Lang and a Riley there, say.
Riley, definitely an interesting one. If Guts is really going for that play style of the Bruiser fight with those Vanessa Camilla combinations, which are very strong, he has very good runes on those. Riley is a really pivotal pick where you could pretty much anything revolves around that Riley would just amplify and make it better. So in this case, having that unit removed, Guts still goes for that Vanessa, but he can't really go for the similar playstyle probably.
Exactly. We're going to see later on in his second and third pick exactly how he's going to answer that. Probably one of the core units, as you were suggesting there. Pink Roid right now has available options with Still Is More, which is a usual pick. Let's see if he's going to change anything up, or do we see the same units as previously, say?
Well, more into the Light Monkey is definitely a good option over here. But if he goes more Light Monkey, we're definitely imminent to see that Wind Monkey once again.
Yep, he's going to decide for the Eshir as a response there to Pink Roid's Moor and Chung Pung. Moor and Chung Pung, some kind of, I would say, units that Pink Roid is very, very familiar with, and Guts deciding to steal across the Cigar this time, and we see that Light Monkey, say.
Yeah, we have that Light Monkey plus a segment going in. Going back for that Wind Monkey right now, the Xingzi is definitely a strong pick over here, but you also would need some extra protection because in the current situation, you don't have as many passes as you had in the previous draft. Going in for a Driller, my man is cooking.
Wow, here we go. See, this is the crazy Guts playstyle, right? We see something, it's just super different. Well, here we go, partnering up with a Juno as well, say.
I am not too sure. Like, if you would ban off that Escher, there's probably not that much chance for the Driller taking a turn unless I'm not seeing something. But that would definitely be interesting fight over here. Pink Roid, is that also something that you're familiar with seeing on ladder? Because I don't see this on ladder, so it's difficult to prepare against. And Pinkroyd, normally we see Pinkroyd draft very fast. In this case, he's taking all the time because even Pinkroyd isn't sure what to use against this. But when in doubt, when in doubt, we draft in Europe, we draft in Terrace. When in doubt, there's Antares, so let's see if Antares is gonna deal that for him.
Wow, here we go then. We're going into those bans. Are we going to see some respect bans coming out on the Driller and the Antares? I'm not sure. But this is still a massive point for these guys. There's going to be one set ready. We've got the Khitan Dashing locked banned out, as well as the Escher there, and both taking speed leads, say.
Would this be a Cigar that's on Swift? That's the only reason I could see for this draft. Otherwise, it would be probably very difficult.
Oh, Sekhmet going in then in this set number 2 between Guts the Berserk and Pinkroyd. She has the skill available. Who is she going to be looking to potentially reset already? Going for that Cigar. Will it land? Manages the cool time, say. Yeah,
manages the cool time, but I think that this is going to be a very uphill battle for Guts because his units are not going to take any turns anytime soon. The Driller was that low on attack bar that it was actually cool time increased twice. We have that Antares moving slightly too early, but doing a insane amount of damage. There were no armor breaks. We're not looking at like 30% up, 30% down or anything. That Antares just did an insane amount of damage. And if you can't lock down that Antares is definitely gonna level the battlefield over here. Driller, what can you do?
Let's see Driller then coming in with the stun, allowing that, meaning that Antares can't take a turn as he goes through. Is this his moment, sir?
Well, we need a few more stuns on that Antares, because if Antares does this, that is going to be a unit off the battlefield.
Here we go, Antares managed to get rid of Vanessa, an additional turn as well, sir, taking out 2 units.
Yeah, he took out 2 units with that one. Definitely one of those typical Pinkroyd Antareses. For other people, this unit cannot work, but Pinkroyd, he always makes it work. But he has, don't forget, he has insane runes on that Antares. Most Antareses wouldn't be able to survive as many hits as it got, wouldn't have been able to deal as much damage as it did, but with Pinkroyd, Antares just got tier because he has crazy runes on those.
Wow, and now we see our first draw in the Summoners War European League between Guts the Berserk and Pinkroyd, allowing for a 1-1. Antares pick came out through there, say. What a crazy unit in order to get back.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm picking a little bit on the chat as well. People are mentioning that the Juno was on Violent, which is a strange, odd thing. Maybe at the end of the match it got 1 Violent proc over there. But that's definitely an interesting one where I would say, like, I'm not really... Like, we have seen Vampire Junos. That definitely does make sense against certain things where it can 1v3 or 1v4. But Violent, I don't really see the point of that all too much. Like, Despair Stuns on that Antares would have saved your life. Well, maybe if you procced the Violent proc and then actually could have killed the Antares. Could have maybe been a thing. But definitely something that's very typical Guts. He comes up with crazy ideas. Some of them work really well, some of them don't work that well. But that is very interesting to see, and I definitely love to see a player like that that's just gonna come probably every week with new styles, new play styles. And that is actually what you see in tournaments like this. It's gonna drop down to layers, it's going to be used in G3 and then G1 and then all the way down. It's gonna be used everywhere. So definitely very interesting to see these kind of players dish it out right here.
Exactly, that's what it is, right? Everyone sees the best players, exactly what they're doing, and that is something that then leads into the rest of the ladder. Everyone wants to play like the best players, right? But this here from Antares, getting that additional turn, managing to then take out another unit, it's something that can be super strong and is renowned for with Pinkroyd. It's the unit that everyone is scared of when he picks it, especially when he went through a phase of picking it first turn. Do you think we're going to see more of Antares in action for Pinkroyd?
I would say that in first turn, he's definitely not going to pick it. But like I mentioned at the start, Pinkroyd's really one of those players, he keeps all units in mind. And when they fit, he will draft them in. If the Antares fits, he will lock it in. If that Zerat fits, he will lock it in. So definitely keep in mind the whole draft that you do against Pinkroyd, he's going to lock in that Antares if I give him the slightest opening for it.
Exactly. And that's been our first 3 matches already from the Summoners War European League. I'm so happy that this is taking place and we're getting to see some of these crazy matches, say. I hope you are too. And actually, we're going to go now into a little break. So we'll see you back here in 5 minutes. Hello and welcome back, guys. So we just took a little break there and we've still got plenty of matches coming up today in the Summoners War European League. And I hope you're all still excited and kind of a little bit ready for what's to come, because what we've seen already has already been crazy enough. Maybe briefly as well, just to explain to some of you guys, it is a point system, this league. So in order to, even though it was a draw between Guts and Pink Roid, they still got 1 point apiece, and that will add to their tally on that leaderboard, which we'll be looking at the end of the whole day. So it is still every point matters. You get a point per set win, say. And again, like we were saying earlier, that is super important. You don't want to lose a set necessarily. But you were saying about the mindset. You've got a clean slate now. Some of these guys coming in next. We've obviously got coming Adrey versus Obabo. How's Adrey going to go into that now, having seen Obabo win 2-0 and himself losing 0-2? How can he take that into this next match?
Yeah, it's difficult to say, like, how do you prepare for Obabo in such a short time? It's definitely that you could look at, like, okay, what were the matches? What is, like, the most important unit that I could ban out on the pick and ban at the first phase? And then maybe look into, like, certain steals, like that segment is very dominant for Obabo. We have that Athena over there, but I don't think that those are very comfortable picks for Adrey on the other side. He's more of like an Asher player. But yeah, it's going to be a difficult one, but still keep the winner's mentality. You can win, like anyone can lose. We have seen it in the qualifications for this as well. We have seen a lot of people go 1-1. There was not a single player that played through the qualifications without losing a single match. So definitely everything is still possible.
Exactly. It is all possible here. If anything, I mean, Adrey did face off against Hansol in that last match, and obviously we know that Obabo is also a very fond Han user. Maybe we see some of the respect bans coming in against that Han, maybe not wanting to deal with another deal, so much damage dealt from that unit in particular. But it's all to play for now for Adrey as well. Remember, he's coming in here. It's his first time in a competitive scene. We can see the face up there. So match 4 is going to be Adrey versus Obabo. Obabo coming in just off the back of a 2-0 win, and Adrey with that 0-2. So it's all to play for right now, say. These guys are going to be prepared and ready. Hopefully they've prepared particularly for each other as well. Do you think there's something else where maybe you need to take some things into account for this? How do you clear that mindset?
Yeah, it's very difficult to do on like such a short notice. Like you do know that you have to play against multiple people, and doing your homework on one subject is always pretty doable. But doing your homework on 2, 3, 4 subjects and then 3, 4 exams at the same time, that is where it gets difficult, right? So I'm not too sure if people actually prepared specifically for individual matches over here, or did they just have like a general take of like, okay, these are my comfortable picks. I'm just gonna play on muscle memory. I just treat it like playing on ladder. And then from there, we can kind of see to progress in what can we look at, how can it look like, and just see where that match brings us.
Exactly. Actually, looking at the past 2 seasons, the matches between these guys and the stats, at the moment, Obabo has got a 71% win rate against Adrey in the past 2 seasons. But last season, they actually had 4 matches, and it was 2 apiece. So maybe Adrey has brought something back. And as we can see here right now, a new opponent for Obabo. Will his tactics stay on course or float? Adrey? I hope you like that one. Here we go into match 4, set number 1. Adrey versus Obabo. Like we said, just coming off the back of a win. We see that respect ban coming in off the Han. And we see the segment actually banned already from Obabo.
Yeah, interesting. From what I've remembered, I could be definitely wrong on that. Adrey's not too much of a segment player, but it's definitely a thing that Obabo doesn't like to play against. Would you also steal a Athena right now? No, goes for a typical Moor pick.
He's coming in with that Moor, getting the speed lead already locked in. Is that going to suggest to Obabo, are we going to see the Chandra and Etna, which he picked in the first match against his last opponent, or is he going to decide to pair up with something else? We obviously know there's another speed lead. We've got Oliver with the Etna, say.
Yeah, it's definitely a very Obabo pick to keep in that Athena. That's, like I said before, world-class runes, and you definitely want to lock in those units with the best runes in those early slots. On the other side, we have a Cardinal and a Cigar, both brothers from a different mother in this case, because we have one from the collab and one from the not collab, but definitely very strong bruiser units into those 2 wind units that we have on the side of Obabo.
Ooh, answering straight away there with a Shizuka and a Juno as well there, say. So not the same family, unfortunately, but how will Adrey answer into that one?
Yeah, definitely an interesting one on that. It's hard to say what you can draft into those, and he actually wants to go for a Douglas and a Fire Monkey. However, I have seen this Athena deal with Douglases before, so I'm not entirely sure if that is the right play, but it's definitely a very strong pick over there, because in the end, the damage dealers will kind of struggle with that Douglas.
Exactly. Obabo has his last pick right now. He's deciding potentially to go for a Marsha. Does lock that one in there, say, who are we going to be banning out?
I would say the respect ban on the Douglas or that Meo Wang is probably there. On the other side, that Marsha is probably the most damage heavy unit against the team of Adrey as well. So I would signal towards those last picks.
Wow, called it straight away. That's why he's here, folks. He gives the most detailed information that you've all seen, nailing those bans out, and we're going to be going in with the speed leads of the Oliver and the Moore as we get into match 4, set number 1 of our Summoners War European League Day 1. Adrey versus Obabo, and it is going to be taking that first turn, say. Skill 3 going onto the Cigar, manages the stun.
Yeah, definitely managing to get that stun is very nice, because now we have a stun on the field, which can also be spread by this Shizuka if he so pleases to. Decides not to go for that skill, but decides to go for just a cooltime increase and just see where it goes from there. Do we go for skill 3? Do we go for stuns at this moment?
Is he going to be going for it? He's got all skills available right now. The Cano going into that Juno, taking it down, and the Monkey does have a defense break, but it does mean gets a stun instead. Coming out of there, say.
Oh, we did get a stun over there, but the question is how many crits do we land? And actually that Athena was landing a lot of crits, and because of that gained a lot of attack bar and can actually stun this Carnal because of bringing it by these world-class rules that Obao has below the 50% threshold. It's a guaranteed stun. Now we have to pick up from that Shizuka, and it's looking very bad for Adrey at this moment.
It is right now. Monkey has got something to say about it. He's got his second skill available, but there's immunity on the other side of the field, so there's not going to be any defense break. But Etna is going to be able to turn cycle now, say, to put out more of that damage that we've seen.
Decides actually, interestingly enough, not to cycle, and I think the reason for not cycling over there is because you want to keep that immunity. The moment that you keep that immunity, your Athena is safe. The moment that the immunity is gone, the Monkey could start stunning it, the Monkey could start armor breaking it. So I definitely do like that play over there.
Exactly. Oliver's now going to be cycling, taking some turns, putting the cool times. It's going to be probably Monkey on his own at some point, say, if he doesn't start to get any additional turn from a Carnal. Oh.
Additional turn for Carnal. How much damage can you do? Most of these Carnals have a lot of crit rate, crit damage these days. That's very nice damage, but it's not going to be enough. The moment that you can take down this Athena, match is definitely going to be looking favorable for Adrey again, but that's very depending on like how lively is that Monkey at that moment.
Exactly. All skills available now for Etna because of the Shizuka, and going to be taking that third skill, taking away the Cigar, and Carnal just about surviving, say.
Just about surviving. Definitely needed another stun from that Monkey, but it's going to be Monkey against the world in this match, and Monkey is going to be reset, so there's no skill 2, there's no healing, there's no armor break, so Monkey is definitely fighting an uphill battle over here.
He definitely is, but he is going to be taking turns, obviously. Manages to get rid of the Oliver. Oh, it's tough, say.
It is definitely tough. I'm not sure this will probably do enough damage. Yep, with the dot, it did just enough damage. If there was one extra turn on that Monkey, Monkey could have actually made that work still.
Wow, there we go. Obabo managing to keep his 100% win rate so far in the Summoners War European League. Adrey, on the other hand, still maintaining with no set wins at the moment. It's something he really needs to try and change to get at least some points up on the board there. As we're going into set number 2, do we see some different pre-bans? Obviously we do, say, but who do you think it might be?
I would say that Athena is definitely one of those units that is just every match that Obabo has that Athena, it's just a lot of danger. But Obabo has a lot of those good units that might consider dangerous. So let's see.
Oh, he decides for that Etna, does not want to deal with that damage in the turn cycling it was just managing to do in the last round. Heigang banned out on the side of Obabo, though, say. What's that going to signal towards Adrey?
Yeah, I would say that Obabo probably wants to go for some kind of AoE CC kind of style, maybe, even though that Obabo currently is not really showing too much of those. However, Adrey is definitely can go picking up those comfortable units as a more Chungpong, maybe a more Athena, or... Yeah, no, wait, Athna's gone. Asher, that's definitely an option. Goes for the Asher.
There we go. So we've got some speed contest against the Sekhmet as well. We know it's got a very fast base speed in terms of the monster. Obabo now has the picks available. Who do you think he's going to be looking to lock in there? Say, are we going to see a Han?
Han is definitely an option, but I would say that Adrey's showing enough speed right now that you would probably have to start looking at those speed leads. Unless you want to go Han with like other dark units that are also fast. I would definitely say that he has to look at speed lead units and bringing fast units with that in a Tableau and a Triton.
Wow. Tableau Triton coming back, and then we have Juno as a response initially from Adrey. Going to be taking a bit longer in order to lock in that second one, but it does look like we're going to have a kind of a speed contest again here, say.
Yeah, it's definitely a speed contest, and we're going back to that AM duet. I actually do like the AM duet a lot into a tableau because it resets the attack bar the moment that things start taking turn. AM duet will start taking turns. So it's a unit we don't see too much, but AM duet in this place might actually be pretty strong.
Exactly. It just was unlucky in the last match. It didn't really get the stuns that it needed during that time, but maybe it could come to fruition against the tableau, like you said there. Mehuwan being looked at by their Obabo and with an Abelio as well.
Yeah, definitely two very smart picks from Obabo because Obabo's probably banning that 5th unit. Looking at the first 4 units, there's no armor breaks. There's a decent amount of damage, but it's a lot of chip damage. It's going to take quite a while to actually kill one of those units. But instead decides to go get rid of that Juno. But it's still kind of similar. However, I think that Byungchul late game can do a lot here as well.
Let's see if he can as we're going in now into our match 4, set 2. Between Adrey and Obabo. Taking that first turn is the Triton.
Triton moving first, going for AoE silences lands 2 out of 3. That's definitely a nice number, but Asher will have that speed buff up right soon.
He will, and Amduat going in. There we've got Eshe. He's going to be able to put that speed up, but there is still silences on the field, say.
Yeah, there's definitely still silence on the field, and we have double 6s. That means a stun and another turn.
Wow, Tableau, can he start to do things? He usually does crazy things in Europe. Oh, we've seen it again. Oh, and he gets the defense break out there, say, coming in with a Sekhmet, more damage coming through.
That is a full AoE. Ooh. Those are full AoE armor breaks from a Tableau and a Sekhmet. Those are definitely very strong at this moment. We still have the potential from that healing that we have seen on the side of Obabo, but we already lost a unit over there. Is this Byungchul and is this Amduat gonna do enough? We got another good time, an additional turn and enough damage to get stuns in and enough rolls to get stuns in. Byungchul, you need to go for proc right now. Get some healing in, gets the proc. Ooh. Can we do a lot of healing? Can we do a lot of damage on this?
There is, but there is heal blocks on the field, say, on 2 of his units, so it wasn't going to do so much. And Abelio managing to put a lot of health back into the side of Obabo. Sekhmet coming in, 3rd skill is available. Who's she going to look to reset?
Yeah, the reset could, well, pretty much on all 3 of the units would be fine, but we can have Tableau with a full reset of the battlefield on the attack bars at least. And we have seen that Abelio do a lot of damage on that Moor before.
Oh, Tableau is doing Tableau things. Oh, see! He's doing crazy stuff.
At least we have the Byungchul that's saying like, hey, I'm still here in the match, I want to compete, I want to participate, I want to take a hit or 2 with that baseball bat that he's having on his shoulder. So let's see. The unit also goes more damage the moment he's lower HP. Is this going to be a showcase of a unit that is recently buffed and suddenly becoming very strong the moment it is in low HP and very dangerous?
This is the answer that Adrey needs right now because he is not looking healthy. 2 units, 1 is very low in terms of that Amduat. Well, I'll say there's a it's an uphill battle. He needs to keep getting some stuns out there. Yeah,
it's definitely a very uphill battle. And also, Byungchul's damage in the end is HP scaling. HP does tend to go down as well over time. If we go for pushbacks right now, we will have that healing coming pretty soon as well. And that is at that Amduat first of all.
Wow, Byungchul, do you think... Is he a 1 versus 4 monster?
We haven't seen too much Byungchul yet. Is he a 1v4 monster? Well, we're gonna see it right here, right now.
We are going to see it. Bailey obviously healing back up, so they're looking very healthy. Can use that 2nd skill, gets a little bit of health back, but defense break is landed.
Yeah, defense break has landed. Tableau's going to take 6 more turns, and then the Abelio is going to finish it with a skill 2 critter. Okay, not exactly as I was expecting it. The Abelio takes the extra turn, gets that stunner in, and what will actually take the victory for Obabo.
Wow, Obabo maintaining that 100% record in the Summoners War European League, managing to get the 2-0 versus Adrey. That's going to put him in a great position now at the top of the leaderboard as well, which we'll see at the end of the day. But crazy that he managed to use those units, especially Tableau was really popping off in that match for him there, say. What do you think, Adrey? I mean, he brought that new unit, the Byungchul, into the match. Was it a good pick in the end for him?
I would say Byungchul in RTA, he feels a lot less fitting. I would say in Siege, he's definitely a very strong unit. But since he's doing damage from HP, and the HP goes down, but he's also a unit that tends to get ignored. So all the way at the end of the battlefield, that's why he starts shining. However, then his HP is very low. So he can't really shine at that position as well. So I'm not entirely sure if it's the right fit for an RTA unit. However, I do think that Amduat definitely had the showcase where it could be very strong. It just didn't really work out, but I definitely did like that Amduat pick over there.
Okay, so he did reset himself. He went back to the Amdwat, even though it didn't work quite well in the first match. For Adrey now, he's going to be looking forward, obviously, to his last match of today. Same for Obabo, in all honesty. How much confidence he's going to be taking through into that match. It's going to set him up for a really good position in the last match. Looking into the next match as well, say we've now got Angel versus Roid. These are, obviously, we've seen what Roid was doing prior with the Antares, managing to get a 1-1 against Guts, and Angel losing 2-0. How do you think he's going to position himself in that matchup?
I would say that Roid once again, well, rank 1 player against rank 300 player. It's going to be one of those where I would have to give the favorable decision towards Roid. However, we did see Roid already lose a match as well. So that also does mean he is not unbeatable. So I would definitely, don't count out Angel, because in the end, he has very strong units. He definitely has the potential. In the end, he beat a bunch of very strong players to get here in the first place. So I definitely do think that he can take a match from Roid as well, if it just falls into the right draft for him.
Exactly. None of these players are slouches, say. They've managed to get into the top 12 of this specific competition, and obviously to get here in the first place is an achievement within itself, especially seeing how strong Europe is. You have to be very high on the leaderboard to get to an SWC. In all honesty, you have to be even higher just to get into this competition as well. So Angel obviously is going to have to take that forward. And we have seen some dent in the armor now of Roid. He hasn't maintained the 100% win record compared to the likes of an Obabo and Hansol at the moment. However, it's going to be his time to answer that and see how he can make sure that it all works out right. Oh, this is going to be a stellar match. Who do you think is going to take this one?
Well, I would like to see a 1-1, so at least give Angel like a point on the board. I would like to see everyone at least have a point on the board, let's call it that. That's always like, if you start off the first week with 0 points, it's always like, sure, you didn't lose yet, you're not like below the top 8 yet, but you're starting off from like a few steps behind and you have to start picking up that catch-up race. So it's always better to run the race when you're ahead, or at least like somewhere in the middle group, than starting a race when the rest of the group was already half on the marathon.
You're being far too nice there, sir. You are thinking way too nice. So you were a player once yourself during these competitions. You would never have allowed an opponent to have one set. Let's be honest. You would want to have won every single part of it.
Of course not. I would have won everything. No, I'm just kidding. But I would have aimed to win everything. That would have been the goal. If it would have worked out that way, probably not. But my goal would have absolutely been win everything. We're not going to give anyone sets.
Exactly, and here we are. We've got Angel versus Roid, just to confirm it for you guys. We have League Day 1, match number 5. These guys actually, crazy to say, in the past 2 seasons of Ladder, Angel and Roid have never played against each other. We have no stats to know how this match will go. They've never faced off against each other, and that could be the first in all of the stats and the research that I've done for this. So I don't really know what else to say.
That's definitely a very interesting one in the first place. That could also be like Roid plays his matches on stream. The moment that Roid is streaming, you just don't queue up. That could be a strategy. But let's see how that works out, because he has to face his fears maybe and play Roid right here, right now.
Exactly. Does an Angel contemplate his fate, or will Roid's wings unfold in this match? Up. Here we are. We've got Angel versus Roid in League Day 1, match 5, set number 1. Pre-bans already came in with the Veronica and the Tian Lang, and Angel deciding to lock in the speed lead with a Vanessa already, say.
The Tian Lang pre-ban is definitely an interesting unit. It's still very strong. It's slightly nerfed as of recently, and I definitely have seen Roid pick up the unit a little bit less. Whereas his comfortable picks with the Light Monkey, as we see right there, with that Chun Pong, are more dominant picks that he has. But maybe Angel's drafting a specific draft right now that he really does need that attack bar boost to win this.
Exactly. Roid coming in with the Kyutan Dashang. We said before about his muscle memory. He knows what he wants to pick. He knows how he kind of wants to play going into these matches. Since they've never faced off before, you have to look at that and see, well, we've never faced each other. I don't know what he's necessarily going to pick. Angel's maybe seen more of Roid just because of being the streamer. Taking a long time on these picks to really figure it out and going for the Ragdoll and the Juno.
Yeah, I definitely do like, especially in these tournament plays, to take your time for the pick and bans. There is also strategy to it that if you lock in your drafts within like half a second, it means that your opponent's time to think about stuff is going to be from 60 seconds towards like 30 seconds. However, you could misplay that as well. And he's going back to that Fire Cassandra, which is definitely a hard counter on that Ragdoll. Wasn't Mo long. He's going for those one-shots.
Exactly. There are some snipe units coming out right now on the side of Pinkroyd. He was banned out from using the other Panda Warrior. I'll bring the other brother along with me instead in Molong. Let's see then now how Angel is going to react to that. Obviously, it's going to be a different thing. How do you think he's going to pick?
It's definitely something that you could say like, okay, I'm gonna protect myself against those single target snipes, drop in a nano or drop in other protection, or you're just gonna play your own game and drop in comfortable units, and it's in this case the Shan and the Shizuka. However, the Shan normally needs an opening of 2 AoE strippers to move in front of it. Currently, we only have the Juno for that. And the Juno is not a guaranteed stripper because her activation rate is just 90%.
Exactly, there you go then. If the setup's not there, that unit is something which obviously Pinkroyd also has in his back locker is Shan. But he's going to be looking potentially instead to support that with an Abelio. Is he going to decide to lock that one in? He does say, so bans, who are we talking about?
I would say that Molong is definitely very dangerous, but so is that Cassandra. Those are the 2 units that are most likely going to kill you and most likely going to be banned. But in this case, no. We're going to be keeping those on the field and see if we're going to get killed by those or not.
There we go then, Shizuka with the HP lead and more on the side of Pinkroyd. Match 5, set 1. Let's see who will take that first set win to get another point. Mori's going to be going first. Doesn't get the strips, and then Shan comes in. Yeah,
Shan comes in because it didn't get stripped, but the Juno actually got pushed back. So the turn order is going to be very unfavorable in this position for Angel, because he needed the Juno to move first and then the Shan to move. So the segment in this position is also kind of oddly placed where it can't really do any of the skills, and you're definitely going to need some stunts on the Juno right now, but didn't get any.
He got all of the stuns, say, after what you were saying earlier. But we've got that Light Monkey King coming in. 3rd skill available, pushing all back. And Molong, how much damage are we going to see coming in? To which unit, say?
I would definitely say if you get rid of the Juno of the field pretty fast, it could be very easy. But you could also simply say, like, okay, I'm going to wait with that skill, kill one first, kind of test the battlefields. In the end, there's no healing on the side of Angel when that Juno is done. And you can just slowly chip 1 by 1 unit. We do have the Shan being able to use the skills right now, but it already used the important skill what you want to use when there's no immunity on your enemy side.
Exactly. Molong has 2nd skill available. Coming back in now for... Oh, there's 1 unit gone. Ragdoll by.
Yeah, definitely not something favorable to see on the side of Angel. And I think that's going to be a 3rd unit, and that will be a 4th unit if we get a critter. Can we do enough damage? We did do enough damage, and that is the victory of Pinkroyd. Very fast match.
Wow, there we go then. Pinkroyd coming in with those snipe units, managing to take them out very quickly on the side of Angel. Angel obviously getting maybe a little bit unlucky with the fact that the strips kind of ruin the turn order for a Shan to be dealing much more damage, say. But it's something you've got to take into account, right? Pinkroyd's Mori is probably going to do some stuff.
Yeah, it was also kind of like a natural thing to happen because Mor first has to strip and then can push back. Because Juno doesn't have any immunity, Juno's more likely to be pushed back than other units. So instead of that, Shizuka, if there was an AoE stripper, could have been like a Heigen, could have been like a whole bunch of units. It would have enabled the Shan a lot more to play his match.
Here we go then. Pre-bans have come in already. Vanessa and the Kitan Dasheng. Pinkroyd picking familiar units, and Angel also picking familiar units for himself there, saying Maximilian, Veronica.
Yeah, we're definitely looking with that Maximilian Veronica to take that first turn. If you can't take that first turn, it's going to be very difficult. But when in doubt, you can also just throw more LDs at it and then see where it takes it from there. We definitely have that Ragdoll. The Ragdoll will take up the more that is a little bit critting. It's going to AoE hit quite some, and therefore it could be pushing up enough. However, you do need that 2nd stripper right now. But you're only going to be aiming with 1 speed lead. So what do you ban? Because the TLA on the field is also going to prohibit your Ragdoll from pushing up.
Exactly. Let's see if the speed leads are going to get banned out then in order to see who takes that first turn. We've got 2 fast units on the side of Pinkroyd with an Etna and with the Sekhmet as well, say. So it's going to be very important to see if he can take the first turn. Veronica coming out and then the Mor.
Yeah, Veronica and the Mor. In this case, it's pretty interesting. Is that Robo going to be fast enough where the Robo can take a turn, strip everything, and then the Maximilian can pick up and clean the whole battlefield? No, the Robo is not fast enough against this very fast Etna. Does take a stun.
And he gets stunned out as well, so now Tian Lang can come in with 2nd skill is available. Deciding to go for the 1st skill instead, giving Maximilian an opportunity to put a lot of debuffs on the side there, but Shizuka's going to eat them up for later.
Yeah, definitely, but we have this skill 2 coming in right now. However, you can't really throw it on anyone because we have seen that you're taking the attack bar or you're taking the turn later. That means that you're not on a guaranteed crit because you're slower than the enemy. That's going to make things very difficult. He could have hit it on the Tian Lang because he was probably faster than that Tian Lang.
Yeah, there's going to be here now Sekhmet coming through. There's enough defense breaks out there already, say. There's a lot just missing on the Wind Robo and obviously the Ragdoll with immunity. Managing to take out that Sekhmet, but Tianlang coming in now.
We can definitely see the nerf Tianlang over here right now. A Tianlang pre-nerf would have probably leveled the whole battlefield, killed everyone. In this case, we got a more generous Tianlang saying like, no, we still give you 1 or 2 tries to come back in this match. And let's see if Angel can take those.
Here we go then. So Enter's going to come in. Is she going to just decide to finish off one of the units? Goes there for the Maximilian and allowing Shizuka to use that second skill again and reset two units gone. It's Ragdoll versus the world, say.
Yeah, Ragdoll versus the world. If you put it on Vampire, I would give it a maybe, but that maybe is very unlikely if you get a guaranteed stun from an Etna.
There we go. And the defense break comes out onto the Ragdoll as well. And Etna's going to clean that up, even though Angel concedes there in that last set. Pinkroid coming back now with a 2-0 against Angel. That does mean that Angel is still sitting on 0 points in the league at the moment, say. Tough place to be in right now.
Yeah, definitely tough place to be in, but on the other side, very well played from Pinkroid. Really reading like what's on the battlefield, reading what's going to happen, how it's going to happen. And yes, the Ragdoll still did a lot of work of pushing up the attack bars, but there were still so many backup plans for Pinkroid where he had the Shizuka that could just bring like a lot of protection. He had the Tianlang in there, and it was just a lot of things going on for Pinkroid's draft, but just made it very nice.
Exactly. He managed to make full use of all of the units and the fact that Shan wasn't dealing enough of the damage to get rid of one of those units. I think it's something that Pinkroid now kind of can focus on looking forward into those next matches potentially, kind of going back to those picks that he knows. We saw the Tianlang didn't do as much damage, but he had his brother as well in the first round with the Molong also doing quite a lot of work for him.
Yeah, definitely the Molong was interesting because with the Molong, normally you look at like, okay, I'm going to Reckless Assault, that 3rd skill, I'm going to snipe a unit out. He actually waited quite a while with that. He first went for an armor break so that the Fire Cassandra at some point could kill with the skill 1. Then he went for the skill 2, chip damage, stuns across the battlefield, and then working it out until the point where he actually needed that Reckless Assault. So in the end, Molong, very interesting pick. We don't see it all too much, but it definitely worked out in that draft.
Exactly. In all honesty, for me, that just sounds like a lot of patience. Once you're somebody who's knowledgeable about the game and you know exactly where you're going to need to use those skills later on in the line, you can already foresee it, right? You're trying to always see further ahead in the game so that you're ready for any of those situations that arrive. And I think it's something that Pinkroid probably has the most knowledge about that type of thing, having been at the SWC World Finals 3 times now. That's some sort of record to go up against. As we're looking now into our next match, which is going to be Guts versus Hansol, say. So obviously Guts managing to take 1 point against Pinkroid in the last match, and Hansol coming in with a 100% win record of a 2-0. How do you think that matchup's going to line up?
I think it's a difficult matchup for both players because Guts, from all of the players that we've seen here today, is the most unpredictable, I would say. He goes in with that driller, he goes in with units that we normally don't really see too much. Is it going to be good? We don't exactly know, but it's definitely something that you can't really prepare for Guts. Guts is going to do something different than you expect. But then again, Hansol played, how many matches did you say? 4,000 something plus? He played everything.
4,400. Yeah, he played 4,400 but I just want to say it to you, these guys have actually faced each other 4 times in the past 2 seasons. 100% win rate for Guts.
Okay, wow, did not expect that in all honesty, so... Definitely an interesting one. 4 is a small sample size though, so definitely won't count out the Hansol on this one. But definitely an interesting number to look at, yeah.
Exactly, especially with the amount of matches that are being played by both of these guys. You can see from Guts as well, almost 2,800 matches played over the last 2 seasons. So they've got a lot of muscle memory. They know how their units are working. But particularly in the ladder, Guts has had the overarching, better win rate. It's something which you can't always incur, but he's managed to make happen against Hansol, and we know how fierce an opponent Hansol is. Do you think anything around Guts might be looking to ban out those units that we saw in the first round from Hansol? So the Salah, the Han, they did a lot of damage.
I would definitely be looking at either that Yan Hong and then also looking at a steal on that Cigar. We do know that Guts likes Cigar as well, and that's one of the most core units for Hansol. And then the other match, you probably have to ban that Han. It's just a very strong unit. Or you have to figure out a way to simply counter that Han. But besides a Tianlang or just instantly sniping it and killing it, there's not too many counters to Han. So are you going to play some AOEC against a player that normally plays very fast himself?
I don't know. Let's find out, because we're going to be getting ready straight into these matches soon. And it's going to be a thriller. Maybe a driller. I hope you like that one, say. Right.
That was a sneaky one.
And we're going to be ready for these guys because, like we said, now it's coming into match number 6. This is the second loop of matches between these players. Let's see. I'm not sure Guts will have done his usual ritual of a hands clap before this match. If you know, you know. Here we go. League Day 1, match 6. We've got Guts of Berserk versus Hansol. Already the pre-bans of that Yonghorn and the Eshe coming in. And the Cigar was contested already, say.
Yeah, Cigar definitely contested, but we're also both very speed contesting. We're dropping in speed leads, we're dropping in fast units, except that Ella. And that Ella is definitely signaling, okay, I'm gonna probably go for my bruiser units later, which can give the chance to Guts saying like, okay, maybe I'm gonna run it over with full AoE, maybe drop in some Robos, some other Chunk Pong kind of styles, Carnals. I'm not sure what you want to do your CC with, but those are units that I would be looking at. However, you have to make sure that you can control that Ella, because if Ella starts taking turns, it's hard to deal with.
Yeah, well, here we go. He's going to lock in that Robo, and we're going to see a Camilla coming out as well. So we've got double Valkyrie action again on the side of Guts. Hansol probably going to bring in some big damage dealers, or something that I may have seen earlier as well. He also liked to pair this with a Chung Pung as well, say, just in order to get the cool times again from the Ella to just keep cycling through all of those turns. Patter on the board at the moment.
Pater is definitely a very dangerous unit. If Guts would have went full for AoE CC, then Patar would have been like very detrimental and then must ban. But we see that Chung Pong on that side. So I would say there's only one AoE stripper on the side of Guts right now. You could follow it up with some Bruiser. However, is that the right play?
Ooh, deciding to look instead for a Marsha at the moment. Oh, deciding against it. I mean, he's got some time. Mei Huan is also an answer that he's put out there, say.
Mei Wang is very strong, and with that Mei Wang, I probably think that you would be battling that Ella, but you're also kind of hoping that your monkey's not gonna be banned itself, and I think we're gonna look at those two bans.
Here we go, it's mind games now then. Let's see exactly if they do exactly what they're thinking. Yes, we've got the monkey and we've got the Ella ban coming in there as well, say. Speed leads on both the sides. Guts the Berserk versus Hansol. This is match 6, set number 1. Let's find out who is going to take it and get some extra points on the leaderboard. It's going to be Etna to move first. She has the skills available, goes to skill 2, into skill 3. Who's she going to stun, say?
Yeah, she would definitely have the chance to stun, but we have that Patar on the other side, and with the Patar, you're gonna strip that away, or you're gonna get the turns in. But can we actually do enough damage right now? If you go for skill 1, I'm not too sure. Interesting, you can kill that right now. If you go skill 2 right now, it's enemy max HP. Even if you miss that crit, you probably still kill. And that is very nice for Guts right there.
Wow, there we go. Managing to take out a unit already. Cigar's got all skills available. Gonna get the cool time and pushback.
We saw increased cooltime from that Camilla. That Camilla increased the cooltime on that Patar, and therefore it couldn't do any skills.
I say I was so focused on Cigar, I had no idea, but we've got Chandra cycling now. Getting stuns out big.
Definitely very nice stuns, and Patar will have his turns coming in pretty soon, but Patar is also one of those units, all of the units actually on the side of Hansol, they are very decent in damage over a long time. However, all of the damage that they have is based on their own max HP. As we know, in RTA, HP goes down, attack goes up. This is definitely very favorable for Guts right now, with that Chung Pong off the battlefield that early.
Managing to get a stun there with the Chandra, and Camilla's going to be trying to do more damage against that Patai. He's not looking healthy right now, say.
We do have that armor break coming in. Armor break into his skill 2 is definitely going to do a lot of damage. Does decide to go for skill 1 and saving that skill 2. It's mainly to kind of keep that healing in for a later moment.
Yeah, here we go then. Vanessa managing to go in skill 1. Everything is targeting towards this Patar at the moment, say. It's going to go down, I think.
Yeah, Patar is definitely going to go down, and this is definitely not a battle. These two units very strong, but they're very strong of setting up for another unit that would actually deal that a lot of damage. Sure, we're going to see a lot of provokes. Sure, we're going to see a lot of slows. We're probably going to see a lot of stuns. But at some point, this Camilla's just going to last too long on the battlefield and going to do a lot of damage.
Exactly. We've still got the revive as well from the Vanessa as well. So any of these units go down, it's going to be coming straight back up on the battlefield, say. Not enough to take it down. Second skill going on that rubber. Provokes are everywhere.
Yeah, definitely that not having enough heals at this moment is just slowly taking the victory towards Hans, or towards Guts, and Hans doesn't know it, and therefore concedes that match.
Wow, there we go. Guts taking that point. The first set win against Hansol. That maintains his 100% win record against Hansol in terms of from the ladder. So it does show that playing before can lead to exactly what you see in front of you right now. Hansol with his first set loss of the whole European League right now. Let's see if he can come back against this, and if they're going to decide to change things up. The Yonghorn and the Escher are available for both of these guys. So let's find out and see who they're going to be pre-banning in this set 2. Who do you think it might be, say?
I would definitely say something along the line of that Han. Han is definitely a very strong unit for Hansol. However, last time it was in the match, but it couldn't actually be played. On the other side, we have that Athena being banned right now. So we're definitely still speed contesting to certain degrees.
Exactly. Taking that Etna away is probably very useful for Hansol because it did so much work in that last round when it could get actually a turn. And now we've got, again, Guts coming in. Classic. Vanessa, 33% speed lead, can set him up for anything later down the line, say.
Yeah, definitely. And we have comfortable picks coming in from Hansol as well. Guts can do the same thing by going back in for that Camilla, that Fire Monkey. Those are definitely good picks in here. Or is Guts cooking up something different for us in this round?
Let's see. Let's let him cook. He's going to decide to go for a Camilla and a Smicer there. And we've got a Dooman and with the Eller on the side of Hansol as well, potentially. Maybe to deal with a Camilla later down the line.
Yeah, definitely an interesting one on that Dumon. I would say Dumon is definitely a unit that can deal with a Camilla as well. It's just 4 turns. The moment you land it, 4 turns, and it will be out. So you would have to look in resetting it, but resetting against a unit that is also increasing cooltime is pretty much already saying like, hey, I'm going to be banning this unit particularly. So is that something that Hansol can play around with?
Yeah, let's see now. Sekhmet on the board as well. Probably expecting a fast Dooman, I'm thinking. That's why he's going for a high base speed unit. And he partners it up with another high pace speed unit there, say in Escher.
Yeah, definitely interesting picks over there. I'm not too sure if it's enough to deal with what Hansol is giving for the draft right now. Because if Hansol drafts a very strong 5th pick right now, it would be pretty difficult. Like, let's say he would go for a Fire Monkey, bans out the Camilla. I would say that Guts is looking at a difficult draft at this moment.
Ooh, deciding instead for the Veramos as well for the cleanse. Probably allowing a Sekhmet through then. Who do you think the bans will be?
I would probably still say on that Camilla, and the other side, the Veramos, is going to be very strong in this match.
Here we go, Ella coming out instead. We've got the speed leads from both of these guys coming in. It is League Day 1, Match 6, set number 2 versus Guts the Berserk and Hansol. Can Hansol regain a point as it's going to be Escher taking that first turn with all skills available?
All skills available, but there's not too much follow-up going on this. We can reset something, we can maybe drop a bomb. We're gonna drop some silences, we're gonna drop an armor break, but then there's going to be a whole lot that Hansol dropped in this draft with that very strong Veramos over there.
Exactly, Veramos will be taking a turn at some point coming soon. Chandra is going to be able to use defend, puts it on that cigar. Can he get some stuns with the skill 3? Gets the slows.
Get the slows, but we also have a Veramos with chances of stuns. Does get a few stuns, and we have an Escher that's on revenge.
That might be just a very fast set then, maybe, say, but all of those coming through, Veramos is going to be eating these up, say.
Yeah, Veramos is definitely going to be eating up, and that is the dangerous thing about the draft, saying, for example, okay, in draft 3 and 4, I'm already looking at a unit, this is my boss band, that is what I'm going to draft around with. However, a player with the caliber of Hansol does know his way around, where he could easily lock in a 5th, and that 5th, in this case, that Veramos, is so strong that I don't see Guts dealing any damage to Hansol probably in this whole match ever.
Well, let's see. He's got some chances, but he got resisted there. And every single time Smiter takes a turn, it's going to give way more turns for the Veramos.
Yeah, the Veramos is just going to be cycling so many turns. Like, a counter to Veramos is either sniping it out or stunning it consistently. Without those consistent stuns, it's just going to be very difficult to deal with it. And we have the Curse of Death being resisted at that moment. But I think for Hansol, it's still not that big of a problem.
Exactly, he's going to be taking stuff down. He's looking to get rid of that Sekhmet. Obviously, we've still got the revive from Vanessa at the moment, but missing that Curse of Death is only going to be coming back very soon, I imagine, with the turn cycling, say. Yeah, the turn cycle, it's going to take a little bit of time, but the Veramos will boost up the units enough, or at least boost up itself enough, to just keep cycling. We keep everyone lively, we keep the train rolling. Not too much happening. Like, okay, the silence is there, too bad. But on the other side, we do have a little bit of healing from that Escher. We have a little bit of healing from that Smicer. But we just see so much more turn cycling on the opposing side that any of the units of Guts can't really do too much at this point. Wow, taking it very slow, but very methodical almost in the draft there from Hansol. Kind of knowing, hey, if you let my Veramos through, look what he's going to do to you in the end, right? Because at the moment he's taking turns, and that Sekhmet is not going to be on for much longer.
Yeah, the segment is definitely gonna find the better end at it. And also, we still have a lot of the CC that we have on the side of Hansol. The moment that Curse of Death is gonna land, it's gonna take a little while, but we still have that Cigar with all of those provokes. We still have those Chandras with the slows. And Guts knows it, I'm playing a losing match.
Wow, Hansol managing to bring it back then into the 1-1. So we have another draw in the European League. But remember, draws still mean that you get 1 point each later on for the leaderboard, which could come down to the final day even, say. Maybe you're 1 point out of the playoffs and you just wished you'd have banned out that Veramos instead to get an extra point that you might have needed later down the line. But interesting picks from the guys there. Do you think that's going to put them in good stead for the future matches?
Yeah, I definitely do think so. And I would definitely say that this was from Hansol a very muscle memory draft, seeing like, okay, identifying what is the threat, that Camilla's the threat, it's the only damage dealer there. He kind of already has to ban that Ella by locking in that segment. With those two units on the field, just looking for that last pick, that is going to be a must ban as well. In this case, I think Veramos was absolutely best in slot over there. But even a Raccoon or certain kind of units like that would have probably did like a very good job of saying like, okay, yeah, is this going to work and is this going to deal any damage anytime soon? And the answer is simply no. And it was just very well drafted by Hansol.
Exactly, and especially in the first set as well, the managing to take down the Chongpeng so early in that match really then allowed for Guts to be on the driving seat for the rest of the match. So it obviously shows that the tables can turn. You can, lose that first set, but come back with a different style of play and in order to still win, right? And that's something that these guys are all going to be trying to take forward into the rest of the matches.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's 6 matches right now. We've had 6 matches in the European League.
Yep.
This is the very first evening, remember, folks. We're going to be here every single evening at 8 o'clock on Wednesdays, right here, live on Say's channel and also on YouTube as well. But how are you finding this so far, Say?
So far, we have great matches. And what I also really like is that we have, with the 2 matches that we have, so people are not just playing one match against one another, we're playing 2 matches. And what we have seen so far, all matches are very different because we have the different pre-ban in both of the matches. And that really changes the dynamics of saying like, okay, one match we're really speed contesting, but the other match we're more bruiser styles playing. So I definitely do like those things over there. And yeah, that's just super nice.
Exactly. And guys, we're going to go to another break, but don't leave us because we've got the final 3 matches of today coming up very soon. We're just taking a break to have a quick drink and we'll see you very soon. Hello, we are back after that short little break, and I hope you're excited for the last 3 matches that are going to be happening today in the Summoners War European League. So far, we've had 6 of the players that have been playing 2 rounds of matches so far, and we've still got the last 3 matches of today to go. Say, is there any match in particular that you're looking forward to right now, having seen some of these players already play in the previous matches?
Well, I definitely want to say Guts against Obabo, because Guts actually took out Obabo last year for the qualification match towards SWC. He cooked up that amazing Bracuni that was actually swift, overtook the turn, made it boost up the Robo, and therefore took that victory. Definitely something that pretty much only Guts can come up with and just play it on the spot. But did he prepare as much for this match as he did back in SWC last year?
Exactly. I mean, hopefully he did. We can see in the previous matches he managed to take 1 set already against Roid, so he must have prepared at some point, because obviously the win record speaks for itself in that lineup. He's now officially got a set against Roid, or a match, as we would say in ladder. That's going to put him in a great stead going into that last match against Obabo as well. For me, I'm kind of hoping that we see... I want to be as nice as you were saying, Say. I want everyone to at least have 1 point or to get something on the board. We know it's been tough. There's a baptism of fire for these brand new players in the highest scene of competitive RTA in Angel and Adrey. They're facing off against some very tough opponents. But if there's any time to prove it, it's right now. It's right here, right now. Remember, we're always here with the European League every Wednesday, 8 o'clock, live here on this channel right now and on YouTube, depending wherever you're watching. You know, we can speak about that later. Well, setting things up then, we're going to be having coming up into this next match, say, Adrey versus Roid. So Roid has already had 1 chink in the armor, which he had against Guts, but he did come back with a 2-0 in his last match. Who do you think is going to be looking, how do you think he's going to be looking to go in this matchup right now? What's he going to change, or is he just going to keep it very similar to that last match that won him the 2 sets?
I think it's gonna take it quite similar. Like, just play on muscle memory. I would say Adrey is not really playing anything very specifically that you could say like, okay, I'm gonna counter him this or that way because he has a very particular play style. However, it is still a opponent to be fearing, because in the end he made it here. He definitely played very well, but Roid is a really uphill battle for him in the first place.
Exactly. By the way, guys, when we say muscle memory, we do mean if you've seen any of these guys play in real life, like in front of you at one of the tournaments, the way that they can so quickly click through all of the monsters or re-rune monsters, it's crazy. I don't even see half of the stats that are put on these monsters when they already know exactly what rune set needs to be on the exact monster. That's why we say muscle memory. They just know exactly where to click at the right time, unlike me. Wow, that is crazy. Actually, Say as well, to add, Adrey versus Roid, another matchup with no previous history. We have nothing to go on. We have no idea what's going to go on in this match. All I can say is, does Roid have whatever it takes, or will that Adrey Nulin be the difference in this matchup as we go into League Day 1, Match 7, Set 1, Adrey versus Roid. Adrey looking to get his first point on the board in this new Summoners War European League. Roid already with 3. Bans of the Kita and Dasheng and the more, Say.
Yeah, definitely respectable bans on the GT and the Sheng, simply because it's one of the most dominant units for Roid out there. But Roid also banning the unit that he likes to first pick most, because he know Adrey also plays that unit.
Exactly. You've got to pick and choose what your opponents are doing and adapt to that in different styles. We see a Cigar, we see the Chandra as well from Roid, maybe taking some inspiration in the last match from Hansol. And Adrey, how is he going to answer that? Say, is he going to come in with any of his typical units that he was using in the past?
Yeah, definitely still likes to go for that first turn. Brings in that Asher, but that Asher you kind of have to pair it already with something that might be strong enough. Going in with that Asher, but then also still going for the Bruiser side with that Camilla. I'm not sure if that fits too well, because Roid can definitely play a Bruiser match with that Julian over there.
Exactly, Julian. Not locked in though, deciding maybe to go for something else, but we've got double Valkyrie action. Maybe taking a leaf out of Guts the Berserk's book there. You know, we've seen that used to good effect in the previous match as well, the first set against Hansol. And Adrey now, oh, Roid deciding to go back for him, Say.
Jungdom, he's going for Jungdom. However, Jungdom has a attack bar boost himself, which the Tianling kind of counters himself more in the current state, because Chandra has a boost up, Jungdom has a boost up. Asher has a boost up, but you're already like 2 boosts on your side, so I'm not too sure about the Tianling on this field at this moment.
Exactly, and Adrey coming in there with a Riley. instead. This is looking very much like a Guts of Berserk draft. I'm going for the Kinky, even though we know the previous balance patch didn't do too much for him. Ooh.
We got Sion over here. Sion is not a bad pick, but that is a 100% ban on the Riley in that case. So Sion and Riley are pretty much the 100% must bans on both of those sides, and we're just gonna juke it out with the others. But Kinky, I'm not too sure about in the current matchup.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, you called the Veramos last time and it wasn't banned out and it ended up not working. The 2 bans came in this time, so that's why you're here. We need that information. We've got the speed leads coming in from Adrey and Roid as we're going into match 7, set 1, Summoners War European League. This is the final match for these 2 players today. Let's see who can come out on top. We've got Eshe going first.
We definitely have a very fast Vanessa because the Vanessa was actually moving in front. However, if you boost it, not anymore because Tianlang says something about that.
He does. Vanessa now has the second skill available. Is she going to look for a strip over there? Potentially onto that unit there, say, and he's going to set up for a freeze.
Ooh, that's a lot of damage. Once again, we're dealing damage, enemy max HP, and we're nearly taking out the unit as well. But we're going to have that Chandra that has something to say about that with that defense.
Exactly. Cigar does have all the skills available. Going for the second skill, defense break and provoke landed. Are we going to see that defend onto the Dokkaebi Lord? Yes, we are. Third skill coming through. Stuns. No slows come out, though.
No, we do have the slows, but we also once again have an armor break, and we have an increased cooldown from one of the Valkyries. It's one of those like hidden skills. It doesn't work all the time, but if it does work, it's definitely very strong. We got that Tianlang potentially going in for skill 2. Do you want to go for stuns and maybe in that process get armor broken? Decides not to go for it and goes for more skill 1s on that armor break. But we have a lot of damage on that Camilla. Camilla dealing 10k on the skill 1 armor break. That's absolutely a lot and a lot of damage on that Camilla.
Exactly, and she's only going to get stronger, really, say, as we go on. And right now, that Kinky's just going to be annoying. Managing the defense breaks are out. I'll say it's not looking good for Roid, actually.
No, definitely not. And I would definitely say that you can kill that Chandra right here. The only thing is we're going to get AoE stunts, and this unit mostly doesn't crit.
Oh.
Does actually manage to crit on the Camilla, so Camilla has a chance to do its skills later as well.
Here we go. Tianlang coming in. Second skill. Manages to get 2 off the field, say. Is it Camilla on her own against the world?
It's going to be Camilla against the world, and there was also a resistance, so that does mean Cigar most of the time does not have super high crit rate, but it's the right element, so Cigar is most likely going to crit as well. We do have that Tianlang with chip damage on that skill 1. He actually lands armor break before Camilla can cleanse it off. Is it going to be enough? We have another critter from that unit. Oh. A third critter. That Cigar actually has a lot of crit rate. Can you kill on this? But you need a proc to stay lively enough. Does not stay lively enough.
Tianlang coming in, defense break set up for the Cigar now. Third skill, gonna take out that Camilla. Wow, Roid taking that first set against Adrey there, say. That was looking up and down for quite a while there.
Yeah, exactly. And I really love that Camilla doing so much damage. She was literally like 2 hitting very tanky units right there. If it took 1 or 2 extra turns there, it maybe could have won the match. However, if you're that much on damage, it also does mean that you're probably not that tanky or not that fast. So you can't have everything on the unit, and that probably cost him in this case.
Exactly. You have to spread out your runes so that you've got enough of everything. Everything in terms of the stats. Some monsters will require more than others in order to shine. We now see the pre-bans coming in. Vanessa and the Tianlang there, say.
Once again, not too sure about the Tianlang, because in this case, Roid can go for that more pick and then have his more Chiti and Dasheng, which is like his most favorable comp to play around with. So in this case, you could have maybe decided to do the same thing that Roid did in the last match. Ban out that more, even though you would like to play that more as well.
Exactly. Well, Adrey coming in now then with the Oliver and the Hagang, maybe in response to any of the kind of strips that are going to come out on the side of Roid, obviously setting up for a Kit and Dasheng. We've got here Sekhmet coming in as a pick with the Kit and Dasheng. Yeah,
we still have that unit coming in here, and it is definitely a difficult thing to say, like, okay, would you maybe draft in a Jemire, because the Jemire also counts as that Sekhmet over there? Or is that maybe too early? He actually goes for an Alanoa, and he goes for a Robo. Interesting.
Wow, response from Roid at the moment is to put 2 fire units down since he's seen the wind heavy side at the moment. Deciding against it, but maybe going for another person who can do a lot of damage that we saw earlier. I think it was even Adrey who maybe even used a Douglas in this European League so far. Thinking about it a little bit longer there, say, are they 2 good picks for you?
I would definitely say that they're good picks, but something you have to keep in mind, Alanoa cannot deal that well with a Douglas. It's actually one of those units that can get the armor or the attack break on the Douglas and then pretty much kill that Douglas throughout from there, even though that there's not too much damage on the side of Adrey. Adrey's not too sure about the last pick.
What would you go for? He's popping out the Destiny, and he's also popping out the other Dokkaebi Lord. He's decided to lock in that Destiny there, say.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I would say with this Destiny, you probably have to ban the speed lead. Does not decide to ban the speed lead.
No, we've got speed leads coming through, Oliver and the Moor. So here it is. Can Adrey get the first set win of the day in the European League for himself? Adrey versus Pink Roid, set 2. Sekhmet has third skill available. Will she land the cool time?
She does not land the cool time. We have this Robo popping off, but is there going to be enough? Because in this case, that was a Nemesis Trap Robo, because the Robo is on that low HP, and the Robo was actually on double Nem Will. But, okay, Robo's gonna go for another turn, another cycle. It's dropping a little bit of damage, but getting rid of this Juno, I kind of feel like that this Juno might 1v4 this whole match.
Here we go. We've got the call early from Say. Let's see if the Juno sticks around for longer. The cool time, but the counter does improve the attack bar again. Robo will have third skill to put out some stuns, but any sort of debuff on Juno is going to allow some healing.
Yeah, definitely that healing is not something you want to see. And that Juno probably has very good artifacts as well. We'll probably deal with these units pretty quickly. And especially if we land an armor break right here, right now, it's going to be very difficult for Adrey to get back on that match.
Manages to land one there, Say. It's on the Eleanor. She has second skill available. Obviously, it could do some healing for Juno.
Yeah, absolutely. But also the glancing is landing on that Eleanor, and that means that she's not really gonna do landing her skills too much at this moment. So it's going to be very difficult for Adrey to get back into this match at the moment.
Oh, some damage coming into the Oliver, managing to get the stun. Now the cool time is inserted from Sekhmet and just doing loads of chip damage away at Oliver, Say.
Yeah, definitely. I would say that the Juno on the field is just a very difficult battle for Adrey, because he doesn't have too much damage. And without that too much damage, a Douglas would have been very difficult as well. So I would still say Douglas ban might have been the right ban, but I would also say that an Eleanor can sometimes deal with the Douglas because you get that attack break in.
Exactly. Eleanor has no glancing now, but is going to go for it with the second skill, but allows more to come in. Doesn't push back.
Yeah, it doesn't push back, but we're also going to look at near full HP healing from that Juno most likely.
Oh, and an additional turn from the Monkey, throwing out stuns wherever he wants. Some monkey business for you, Say.
Yeah, definitely some monkey business over there, like no other monkey can do. Dropping stuns left, right, and center on that unit. And like I said, Juno would have 1v4 this, but it didn't even get to this point. Juno was too good of a pick over here.
Wow, Pink Roid managing to come back. So there was a chink in the armor at the start of the day, but now coming through 2-0 versus Adrey in our match 7 of today in the Summoners War European League day number 1. Well, Pink Roid trying to get back up to probably a top spot right now there, Say. Looking very strong there, answering very well with the different picks. Juno was very good.
Yeah, absolutely. Both the Douglas and the Juno was very good of a pick over there. And then at some point, it's also one of those matches where you say, okay, no matter what you lock in afterwards, I'm just gonna ban that fifth. So it could have been the Destiny, it could have been like anything else that it was really taking his time, like, okay, what is my best fifth? But in the end, in the mind of Pink Roid, it was very simple. Like, I think I got a comfortable draft sitting here with the 5 units on the field against the 4 units that I see right now. And I think that's also a very comfortable way of drafting if you have that first pick, of saying like, okay, I can ban whatever that fifth is, and I have a favorable draft.
Exactly. That's how you win a draft. If you can ban out that last unit knowing that it's not going to be effective, it's how you can win because you've already decided how you're going to play there. Say, we can see the comeback, all of the match highlights there with the Cigar managing to finish off that Camilla that was trying to do so much healing, but it couldn't because it was doing too much damage in the end. And now we've got the Sekhmet as well with the Eleanor going. Whoa. What a sign-off there for day 1 for Pink Roid. Adrey will have some homework to go through for his next league matches. He'll be wanting to get his first point, and we'll see coming up soon who that might be later on. Obviously, going now into our match number 8, Say, we do have Angel versus Hansol. Some very tough opponents. We know Hansol also has 3 set wins, if I'm correct in my maths right now. Angel still on a 0 as well. So how do you think that match is going to look?
Well, I once again would probably have to favor the veteran as in Hansol. Definitely has that speed game. And I would say Angel very much plays on that speed game as well. You have that Veronica, you have that Maximilian. Those units are insanely strong. But if you are in the driver's seat, they are insanely strong. matches against Hansol, it's very difficult to say like, okay, I want you on a bruiser fight, and then I'm gonna take the speed units. Hansol is not going to allow that, so that's definitely going to be a difficult match. However, we have seen Adrey also play in the qualification matches towards like more bruiser fights himself. So let's see if he brings out that or still goes for the speed game.
Exactly. We're going to see the face-up of these guys as well in a moment to see how they're looking in terms of the matchup. Maybe some stats for you on this one say it's not looking very in favor of Angel, I must say. Hansol does have a 100% win rate in the ladder in the past 2 seasons against Angel, with a massive 26 matches that he has beaten him. So it's 26-0 at the moment. It's looking very much, again, an uphill battle for Angel to try and get a set here. But we said that about Guts. And Guts managed to get a point as well before against Pink Roid. So anything can happen. But what do you think of that stat?
I'm a guy of statistics. You all know that. And 100%, I'm like, okay, 3 matches, 4 matches is fine, 5, 6, 7, maybe, okay, 10 match, 26? That's probably one of the matches that Angel also went into preparing and seeing today of saying like, that's the one I'm gonna lose. Well, whatever, I park that over there, I focus on my other matches. So let's see if that's going to be the case. But those are some hard numbers.
Exactly, they are pretty hard numbers, but it just shows again the kind of strength of playing more matches, understanding your box, understanding your units. The amount of matches that obviously Hansol has played, being the 4,400 in the past 2 seasons, is something that puts him in great position. Actually, to say that as well, Angel has also played over 3,600 matches in the past 2 seasons. So there's also a lot of gameplay that he's used to. It's just never usually worked out for him against Hansol. But maybe there's something to surprise us here. Is he going to go still with his Maximilian, Veronica, the Ragdoll, Shan even in his box as well? There's even a Gurkha there, say, as well. So we don't know if maybe we see something different completely out of the box for him.
Yeah, definitely a possibility. And a different thing to those 26 matches, we have pre-ban right here, right now. So that is definitely a different factor where I would say like, okay, that might shake things up, but still 100% is 100%. Like we know the things in game that are 100%, we really like to use those.
Exactly. Well, will Angel be walking down a one-way street, or is it Will Han who will sit and wait? Here we are. We have Angel versus Hansol in our League Day 1, Match 8, set number 1. Pre-bans have already come in. We've got a Dooman and a Shan there, so maybe they were listening in. Who do you think Hanselot's going to lock in for that first pick, say?
He always locks in that cigar. If he has the chance to lock in that cigar, he will always lock in that cigar. But the Dooman pre-ban is definitely an interesting one, and that is knowledge that they do have from playing one against one another. And Angel's playing around that Ragdoll, that Vanessa, the kind of bruiser style, likes to drop in a Camilla, those kind of units. That is not really something that you can do if a Dooman is on the field, so I definitely respect that ban over there.
Exactly, answering there with a Juno and a Ragdoll, so we know he has that. Oh, that Han is back out on the field, say, along with a Chandra.
Yeah, that Han is definitely going to do a lot of damage, and that focus single target damage is going to do a lot against those units that we see on the field of Angel right now. And yeah, Ragdoll kind of counters if it's AoE critting, but single target critting, Ragdoll doesn't really do too much against. So what is the answer on that?
Exactly, we're going to find out soon because Hansol maybe has an Ella in his back pocket. Oh, Windy, say.
We're going back for the Windy. I definitely do like it. However, Windy is very nice against AoE hits. We do have the AoE hits on that Cigar. We have to do the AoE hits on that Chandra. However, you're probably already having to ban that Han, whereas Hansol can draft in a 5th pick unit right now, which is also a must ban, and that will become a very difficult draft for Angel.
Exactly, it's all about making sure. There we go. We've got a Fire Cassandra, another snipe out unit. So he's got 2 single target damage dealers. We've got on the side there from Angel the Veronica coming in as well. Who are you seeing for the bans?
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. The Veronica is nice because you still have that potential to continuously AoE store strip and then also increase cooltime. But we're gonna see if Sekhmet can do that as well.
Here we go. Match 8, set 1, Angel versus Hansol. Sekhmet is going to be going first. Can she get the cooltime? Gets it on the Cigar.
Yeah, definitely an interesting one to go on the Cigar. I would say that on the Han might be one of the favorable things because the moment the Han goes off, Han can destroy a Juno in just like 2-3 turns.
Yeah, let's see. He's going to be doing the provokes onto that Windy. Han is going to be taking a turn now. Who is he going to look to go for? Is it that Juno? Let's see and find out because the 3rd skill is available. goes in for that Windy instead.
I'm not too sure about focusing the winding. He definitely hasn't been paying attention when Sean B made this unit popular. You actually do not want to hit the windy. You kind of want to ignore the windy and then deal with it later. Because every time that the windy gets hit, you get that annoying shield up for the whole team. And that is... You have those single target hitters. If you just ignore the windy, there's never going to be a shield. You can easily just deal with the rest of the units.
Yeah, you see there, he gets the cooltime on the Sekhmet, but hitting the windy with the AoE allows those shields to come out and play, say. And he's going to be defended by the Chandra.
Defended, but trying to strip that defense, didn't manage to get it. Also tried to get any stuns, but didn't get a stun as well. This is going to deal a lot of damage to the Ragdoll right now. Decides to go for the unit without the shield and does a good amount of damage because of that attack break. A little bit lowered.
Exactly, but allowing to get the stun on the second skill there, say, which is important. Allowing now Cigar to come through and cycle through. The provoke on that windy doesn't allow any of the buffs to come through, but Juno can heal.
Yeah, Juno can heal, but it's just a little bit. We have another cycling coming around for that Han. We have seen that Han in combination with that Ella. It's just taking so many turns and getting the simple solution up so many times. And now we don't see any shields. We can easily take out that Sekhmet over here.
Yeah, here we go. Does he decide to take it out now, or does he want to put some other defense breaks? He goes for the Juno instead. Manages to get into the turn, and it's gone, say.
Yeah, that's definitely what I was saying. Like, just focus those units, anything but the windy. As long as you focus anything but the windy with the Han, match is going to be over pretty quickly.
And getting a stun there from the Chandra as well, not allowing that Sekhmet to take any turns. And the Ella again, just doing a bit more healing, allowing Cigar now. Skill 3 coming through. Resisted though, was it?
I'm not entirely sure, but with this stun, actually decides to go for the stun on the other unit. But yeah, we do... Oh, those are very nice stuns from the Chandra over there. But once again, we have the Ella going with the skill 3. Could increase the cooltime on that Chandra in this case. And Chandra can actually take care of this unit as well.
Chandra is just defending the whole team right now. He is a massive defense and just allowing the others to take more turns and cycle through. Can he get the defense break? Yes, for the Han with the skill 3. Is it going to be enough to take out of that? Oh, he goes for the Windy.
Actually goes for the Windy. Well, as we have seen like a few times right now, Windy is one of the few units that can deal with it. Maybe was slightly scared of putting Ragdoll in threats or like the Thorn state where you just couldn't kill it enough. But I think it would have been totally fine to go for the Ragdoll in that position. However, you can also just do that again. Like, we got simple solution after simple solution. All of these skills just deal a massive amount of damage. And yeah, that is just the victory for Hansol right there.
Wow, Hansol maintaining a 100% win record against Angel, managing to take that out 1-0. We can see again just the great cohesion that he has with the Ella and the Chandra, allowing for defense, allowing for more cool times to be reset. That Han, again, doing so many simple... He is a simple solution himself, sir, at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's already a unit that has very low cooldowns. But if you put a unit next to it that even lowers the cooldowns on that, you can pretty much use those skills all the time. And the skills on Han are very, very strong. It's so much damage coming in there. But once again, these guys have crazy runes because there's a lot of you guys going out there probably saying like, hey, my Han doesn't do this kind of damage. Well, it's those runes and those artifacts.
Might be me saying that. Here we go for the pre-bans. We have got the Yonghon and the Veronica, and Angel coming in straight away with the Maw. Answered again by the favoured units of Hansol, the Chandra and the Cigar.
Interestingly enough, Hansol was slightly hovering over a Ragdoll as well, if I saw that correctly. He does have the potential to steal that Ragdoll, but then Hansol was like, nah, I can actually deal with other units as well. And that is a very interesting unit right there. We have this Chakra, which is recently buffed. A lot of people are kind of treating it like a Miles. It doesn't necessarily do ignore defense, but it has a good amount of defense based on that speed that he does.
Something's telling me Angel is definitely a subscriber of Sean B. All of the previous units he's been working on, he's been using right now. We've seen that with the Maximilian and with the Chakra. And Han coming in alongside there. Wow.
Yeah, Han is definitely one of those players saying like, okay, you have some fast units, but I have faster units. I don't like to give away that turn 1. He feels comfortable being that turn 1 position. So Angel, are you gonna contest that turn 1? There's not too much strips on the side of Hansol as in this position. If you would go for a draft with, let's say, a Balinus plus a Rika, you just ban 5th. That could be very bad for Hansol in the current draft, but decides to go for passive units as in Vert and the Minato.
Yeah, and it looks like Hansol wants to lock in a Solar as well. If that leads, the dark speed lead comes through, he's probably going to be very, very fast on the side of Hansol now. The bans will be coming in soon. So who are you favoring?
I would say that you probably want to remove some of the strip on the side of Hansol. So I would probably aim for that Cigar. On the other side, I would probably say the Maximilian definitely dangerous, but we're removing that Han and we're keeping in the strips. But the damage on the side of Hansol is a lot lowered right now.
It is, but we've got speed leads coming in. Hansol 1-0 up in this match 8 in the Summoners War European League. Can Angel get his first point on the board? Let's find out very soon. We're going to be looking here. Are we going to use the third skill? Yes. Speeds up the whole team straight into that second skill, say.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be quite some turns for Hansol right now. However, the Minato is definitely going to be a very dangerous unit as well. So let's see if the Minato, if the Bird doesn't get stunned and the Minato can get quite some hits off. I definitely see Angel being potentially winning this match as well.
Here we go, Solar coming in, both of the hits going in on the Maw. Second skill manages to get some good strips.
Yeah, definitely did get some good strips, but in this case we still have the Cigar moving first. Goes for the Minato, does land his skills.
There we go, we've got Provoked coming out, but there is a threat state now, remember, on Minato, which is going to mean that his team is going to have to hit it. Oh, we get the stun as well.
He managed to get a huge stun, and this is where we're going to see Chakra. How much can you do? This Vert is also keeping in the battle with a lot of those critters, just getting in the turn. And can we get another stun? We do get a very strong armor break over there.
Exactly, the armor break is going to be a very good thing right there for Minato. Obviously, the threat state wasn't taken away, so he's going to have to hit that Minato with a revenge coming, say.
Yeah, we have another revenge coming in there. It deals a good amount of damage, and we have another threat state coming up. Those continuous cycles, and he actually hit the Vert, and he pushed up while hitting that Vert. That Vert is actually very well played over here, and this might be the first win for Angel right here.
Wow, Angel coming through. Sean B is going to be proud if this comes through right now. That unit being used to great effect. Cigar has second skill, defense break, and a provoke, but who's he going to go on right now?
I'm not too sure. You probably have to go for a target that you can clear off easily, but there's not too many targets to clear easily on the side of Angel here, and this is very well drafted by having some lesser used units, but definitely well played in this position.
Oh, wow, another defense break coming out as well from Minato, and it's not long now until the Chandra is going to be falling there, say. So he managed to change up the draft, use some interesting units, and kind of caught Hansol a little bit off guard there.
Yeah, definitely. It's normally where he goes for saying like, okay, I want to draft the Maximilian when I have that Veronica. So maybe Hansol wasn't really prepared against that, having completely changed up. And this was very well played by Angel, and that actually gives him 1 point on the board.
Wow, he manages to turn around the 100% record again, say. They love destroying your statistics today in this Summoners War European League. All those with 100% win rates have managed to still get a point against that opponent. Will that point come back to hurt Hansol in the future in the Summoners War European League? Or will it be a massive benefit for Angel as well at the moment? Now with that 1 point on the board, hopefully it's a domino effect for him. He can like take that forward, really snowball through the rest of the matches and get some more wins on the plate there. But what do you think really let down Hansol in that last pick there then?
I would say the last 3 picks of Hansol, I did like the Han. The Han definitely made sense, but the moment that the Croa was there, it was already saying like, okay, I don't have too many strips. Like it was just Cigar for stripping. Even if he let the Salah in the field over there, like, or the Han in the field over there was just not too much strip things going on. And then saying like, okay, you can take turn 1, but I'm going to take that turn 2. And he had a lot of passes on the field to enable that turn 2 and just play from there. And just very well anticipated based on not having too much strips, saying the enemy can take turn 1, they can snipe out the unit. Good ban on that Han, that's the one that snipes out the unit. The other units didn't just bring enough damage in this case.
Yeah, I think it was also useful to point out that the defense break that came out from Minato in that last set as well really then set up the rest of the units when they then had to take a turn, like the defense break there you saw on the Croa. Verd could come in, swipe it away, straight away the next unit to go, Salar. Just shows how much a defense break or an armor break is so important on the field, right? It can really allow you to get rid of a unit and then not have to deal with it ever again. But now we're focusing towards, sadly, the last match of today, say. We've got the final match of the Summoners War European League, day number 1, and it is going to be between Guts and Obabo. Some big hitters for the last match right now. Both of them have some points already on the board. Oh, how are you feeling about this matchup?
Definitely a very interesting match, also because it's a rematch, as we mentioned before, from SWC last year for the qualification matches. But it's also interesting that Obabo is the only one that has a chance to go for a clean sweep in the first week. Because everyone, like we mentioned before, everyone lost in the qualification. No one went through with like clean victories. Not Roid, not Hansol, no one. In this case, we already see some dents in like the armors of like the people that we consider like super strong, like top 10 players currently on leaderboards. They are beatable, and definitely they can make a mistake in the draft if it's like well played on by the opponent, well read in the draft as Angel just did. That's definitely what we can see in this one as well. So translating to this match, is Guts going to enable it that no one will come off with a clean victory today?
Let's see. It's up to him. He can write the script on what's happening right now on the Summoners War European League day number 1. Just to let you know, though, say one of these players does have a 100% win record against the other in the ladder. The stats aren't as high as you usually like them. There's only been a total of 4 matches, but Guts has a 100% win rate against Obabo here, say. I don't think many people would have seen that.
That is very impressive. Like, if you would have let me guess, I would have probably favored Obabo in that one for like just calling that out. But I would definitely say 100% against Obabo. So it's definitely Guts is watching streams. Guts knows what Obabo is doing. He's just like he's sitting at his computer just watching and seeing like, okay, this is where I can pick up. This is where I can pick up. Let's see if Guts also did that in the last few days. And that would then transition towards the current matches. Or is Obabo going to show us something new that Guts didn't prepare for?
I'm not sure. Will the googly eyes be out for this round? Or is it straight to business for these titans upon men? We have Guts the Berserk versus Obabo in our match 9 set number 1. This is the last match, or the last match of this league day, and the pre-bans are in. We've got a Heigang on the side of Obabo with the Sekhmet on the side of Guts there, say.
Definitely interesting picks, and I would also say that they're mostly respected picks, not necessarily because the enemy is using a lot or it's very strong. It's more of like, I don't like to play against these units. I do know that Obabo doesn't like to play against Heigang, and these guys are playing like a blitz version of RTA right now, just locking things in like half a second. You pick this, I pick that.
This is almost like a speed round version of an RTA match right now, Sayers. He's slowed down a little bit. We've got there the Chandra and the Camilla coming out instead, though.
Interesting to see a Camilla on the side of Obabo, because Camilla is one of those units that's more used by Guts in general. I don't see Obabo use it all too much. But definitely a strong unit. However, I think Guts, because he played that much with it, also knows the counters against it. So let's see what kind of counters he brings up next to that Scar, if he locks it in.
Yeah, he's got the cigar out already. He can't do his double Valkyrie, which he had been using in the past with the Camilla. Instead, deciding to go for the Meihu Wang instead. A fire unit against 2 water there, say.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about it. In this position, if Obabo were to draft more water units, let's go a Minato +1, could even be a Minato plus a Tetra or something maybe. Ban out that 5th unit. The damage on the side of Guts is not going to be very high. Obabo decides to go for a different route, goes for that Marsha and a Brakuni.
So he's going to be able to get some defense breaks out with the Marsha and the Raccoon there for a bit more sustain. He's going a bit more sustain against Guts. Maybe from his history in the previous SWC, he wants to stay alive a little bit longer. Smicer is being potentially locked in there by Guts. We know about how important the silences are, the bombs, and that healing, of course, as well in the skill 1, which you mentioned. It could be something that pays off in the long run. Instead going for a Diana, though, instead. Does that signal exactly what I think?
Yeah, that's going to be a Marsha ban, most likely. But on the other side, I would say that Diana ban is also going to be respected.
There we go. So if you know you can respect that last ban, let's see if they actually do respect them and lock them in. We all know the famous pick that wasn't respected, Veramos. Let's see then if they actually listen. Well, they can't listen to us necessarily, but let's send the messages. Come on, guys. You know which ones you might need to ban. Let's see if they actually go through with it. And it is going to be, Marsha, but Vanessa banned out instead on the side. We've got defense lead and a speed lead coming through. This is the last match of today. League Day 1, Summoners War European League, match 9. Guts the Berserk versus Obabo going in. Etna is taking that first turn.
Is taking that first turn, but does not land a single armor break. And interestingly enough, the Monkey in this case is on Will. Most of the time, Monkey's either on a Revenge or on Nemesis, so there is a chance to armor break it. But in this case, there was no chance to set up for that armor break. And we have that Diana moving. Who's your first target? Probably going to be the Etna. And that is a lot of damage. Can you take that Etna on an S3? Probably can.
He's gone for it. And he does take it out there, say.
That's a very early takeout on an Athena that's mostly very dominant in a lot of matches. So we definitely do have a lot of sustain on the side of Obabo because all 3 units kind of work towards sustaining, surviving. Definitely have a nice stunner over there. However, is it going to be enough on the sustain though?
Exactly. I mean, Diana needs to get off the field for Obabo to have a chance here, I would imagine. The amount of damage that it can do. But we've got those units managing to suppress it, not allowing to take a turn yet, say.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be the waiting time until Diana gets on the field. Diana is the one that is supposed to kill things. The speed buff definitely helps a bit, but this is the part that helps a lot more. Resetting attack bars, and it actually does reset a lot of those attack bars.
Here we go. Monkey does have skill 2 available. Does he want to set up a defense break anywhere? Doesn't manage to land it, and now we're going Escher. Skill 3, we saw it kill the Netnet and does a lot of damage into that Chandra.
Definitely does do a lot of damage, but in this case we keep hitting that Diana. He actually does keep managing to land those freezes and those slows on that Diana, and that's definitely the way for Obabo to try to keep in this match. But how long can he do that for? If we get that arm break, if we get a crit from the Monkey. Did not get a crit from the Monkey right there.
There, we've got some sustain coming through to keep that Chandra alive, but he needs to keep freezing. He needs to keep stunning that Diana whenever possible right now. Can Chandra? No.
No, and this is going to be a very favorable turn cycling right now. If you don't get the increased cooltime, doesn't get the increased cooltime. If you get an armor break right now, does not get the armor break. An armor break would have probably killed that Chandra over there, because Diana's these days, very high attack, very high crit damage, does tend to do a lot of damage. And even without that 4Ks per hit, that's a good chunk of damage.
Let's see if there's no additional turn there for the benefit of Obabo. But Chandra is probably going to be going down, say.
Yeah, that will definitely be going down. And he actually, that's also one of those things. Like, are you going to go for the sustain play or are you going to go for the kill play? Going for the kill play is very nice. However, that Camilla is saying, like, I don't care about elements. I don't care what happens. That thing is not moving on my watch. She's moving from time to time, but the Camilla's really trying hard to get this Diana from moving.
Exactly, but she is provoked right now, so she's not going to be taking another turn on the Diana. And Escher is just giving more health back to that Diana, say.
Yeah, the Escher healing is mostly not that much, but since Diana's that high on HP, it's still a lot of healing. And we got another round of provokes. No, we don't have another round of provokes, we got another round of Raccoonies.
Oh, but Raccoon is taking so much damage each time now. Lucky to stay alive right there. Can he freeze? Misses that freeze this time.
Yeah, definitely does miss the freeze. We have the Raccoon taking one more turn, but that might be the last turn that Raccoon takes in this match.
1v4, say. Nope.
Nope,
We're not even going to see it. We're not even going to contemplate that.
No, it was definitely interesting to see the Camilla trying to get into the match, staying in that match with that constant freezing. But in this case, the draft of Guts was just very strong with that Diana in there, which I think should have been banned because that Diana just enabled to kill off that Athena in one turn. A Vanessa wouldn't have been able to set up for that.
Exactly so. We've seen another chink in the armor, as we like to say right now. We've got Obabo is down 1 point against Guts, and Guts at the moment would be on equal points, I believe, or unless it might have updated already, actually. But he's going to be on a good amount of points going into this. Obabo needs to potentially change his draft now. Well, let's see, actually, because in the end, it was kind of the Diana not being banned that maybe led to some sort of a loss. Are we going to see more familiar picks again with an Etna, with a Han? Is that coming back, or the pre-bans? Let's find out what they're going to pre-ban, say.
Yeah, definitely. Normally, I would say, like, okay, ban that Athena. Athena's just incredibly good on the side of Obabo, but Guts made it look like it was not doing too much. He just took it out in, like, a turn and a half, which we don't see too often, which was definitely interesting. So, for that reason, would you maybe not ban it? On the other side of for Obabo, would you maybe just ban out the bruiser units that Guts likes to play around with? So, would you ban out, like, maybe a Camilla, a Meo Wang, or any of those units?
Yeah, let's see. They're really taking a longer time thinking about this one. Obviously, how to try and answer each other. Pre-bans come in. There's an Escher on the side of Guts and Vanessa on the side of Obabo, knowing that Guts had that first pick and is likely to take it.
Yeah, he's probably gonna take an Athena on this pick, because then he has, like, one speed unit off the field, the other speed unit he can take, and he takes that Athena.
Exactly. You steal the units. If you don't want to play against them, you have to try and steal it. And obviously there, Obabo banning out that Vanessa, which is a usual first pick for Guts. How do you think he's going to respond there, say?
Very typical draft with the double resetters, but double resetters, if you play around a bunch of units that don't really care too much about their long cooldowns, these two units are not going to deal too much. And definitely a Mewang, once again, that Guts definitely likes to play around with, will be very strong.
We see a Smicer coming out, and we see potentially a Chandra as well. Smiter taken away now. Let's see. Going for a Verd instead.
Verd is definitely an interesting pick in here. A lot of people would say that it's maybe too early for a Verd. Like, are you trying to just get like a counter on that? But if you put a Verd on a different build, maybe a Fio build, like in the end, we're talking about Guts. Guts could have a Swift Verd. Guts could have a triple Endure Verd. Guts could have any kind of Verd. It could be Fio Revenge. And Fio Revenge would actually be fitting very well in this match right now.
Exactly. Well, Obabo going back a little bit more typical, I would say, with the Shizuka there and the Han. Han with the damage coming out. Obviously, Guts now has to answer there. We don't know what the builds of any of these monsters are right now. Juno, well, we're still in debate on what build exactly that Juno was on. Let's see in this match if it manages to go through.
Yeah, definitely. I would also say that on the side of Obabo, there's not too many strips. However, Obabo doesn't care too much about not having too many strips as well, because it's just that Han damage. So Han is kind of the unit that you want to take out already. However, Obabo could draft in that Doomon. Obabo also does have that Doomon, which is very strong in this position right now.
Exactly, it is a dark unit as well, so any speed lead that could still come through is going to be effective for the Doomman as well. Camilla, obviously, in that last round, didn't manage to do so much in the way of Obabo when he stole the unit. But let's see how Obabo decides to respond to that. It is Doomman that's going to be locked in, say.
Yeah, I would definitely have to say that we probably have to respect that Doomon ban over there. On the other side, there's a lot of options. Like, I don't think there's any really particularly super wrong one, but there's probably a more right ban that Obabo can think of.
Let's see, then he's got another 15 seconds to consider that as well. And let's even consider if Guts takes away that Doomman as a respect ban, or if it does manage to make its way through, it does have some pretty cool skill sets in terms of the Curse of Death, and it is respected, as well as the Etna ban, say.
Yeah, definitely good bans on both sides. Definitely taking out like the unit that probably has the most threat on both sides, because Guts doesn't have any armor break right now. And there we have it, the last match of today. Let's see who can take the victory with Segment going in for the first goal. Can she land her reset?
Let's see, can she land it? Going for the second skill instead, getting some... Oh, counter though.
I'm not too sure if that was the right play because of that counter. There's actually a lot of chances of things going wrong where you can also just simply start chipping the damage on that Han.
Exactly, he has third skill available. Does he get any stuns? Gets the slows out, but maybe the freeze coming in from Camilla manages to land it as well.
Yeah, the thing is, normally you would say, oh, just use your skill 3, it's fine. But in this case, you can use your skill 3, but the Juno would still move. So I'm not even sure if it's the best place right here, right now.
Well, he's set up the defense breaks, but obviously Juno is going to heal through. It's going to allow now, we can't... How does he move forward here, say?
Well, there's a lot of debuffs on the side of Guts as well, and that Han is definitely going to take a turn later as well. You can put the Soul Protect on the Han, so is that the right play? In this case, reduce the attack bar by a bit.
Yeah, looking to reduce the attack bar there so that Han maybe can get a normal turn. Oh, that could be huge. Doesn't quite kill. Can Han take someone off the field right now?
Yeah, you definitely have to aim for that Juno right now, but the Juno is actually nemesising, but not nemesising enough. So it's taking out the Juno and takes the additional turn to hit another very strong hit on another unit. Plus, we're going to see that Soul Protect coming in pretty soon right now, which is going to protect that Han.
Here we go. He must put it on the Han. It's so low in health at the moment right now. Does he decide to use it? And obviously the cool times as well that come with it. Oliver with third skill. Looking. Yes, lands cool time as well.
Yeah, definitely this is looking very favorable for Obabo right now. The Han is online, however, the Han will probably cycle out of his skills right now. And with that cycling, you have to stun, well, pretty much both units. I would say stun on the Verd is probably more likely because you can use the Oliver to push back the other unit.
There you go. He manages to get that stun as well. Huge for him, not allowing Verd to take a turn and push up the attack bar of the Camilla as well. Oliver can do the same now for Camilla, setting up for another Han. Skill 2, I think. He didn't have skill 3 available, if I remember correctly, say.
It is not next to the ally, so it doesn't have skills all the time. So in this case, it just has to go for skill 1. But in this case, the skill 1 is enough. We have the Oliver cycling on that Camilla. Camilla into an Oliver is not really a favorable pick whatsoever. And in this case, it definitely does show that that Han... I would say that the Han win rate that we have seen today is insanely high.
It is, and it wipes out that Camilla to put Obabo back with a point, so that is a draw in that match. But remember, every point matters for the leaderboard. That's going to be an extra point for each of these players. And we'll soon be looking at the final table of today to see the exact positioning of all of those players. You can see right now all of the matches that we've seen today, some crazy matches in there. Say, what was your favorite?
Well, I think it's funny to see that Guts had to play all of the veterans, and he actually went 1-1 against everyone. He just played 1-1, like very consistent. 1-1 over here, 1-1 over there. I think if you just 1-1 everyone throughout the whole league, you probably make it top 8. That's very doable.
I think that's a very much a statistical mind viewpoint on that one, Say, as we know you like your stats. But let's see. I mean, you obviously want to get that for the confidence as well to get a 2-0. Like the Hansol got a 2-0, Obabo got a 2-0. It's one of those things that I think you can take forward and continue with those matches. But what a crazy day for our first ever Summoners War European League. This is day one. We've still got like 6 more weeks, 7 more weeks, 8 more weeks if you include the playoffs. This is going to be so much time for us to spend together as we can relive those final moments as well from the Diana, managing to take out the units of Obabo. And then just like that on the other side as well, the Camilla being taken out by that Han at the very end, allowing for Obabo to win there. We did see a different set on the Juno there than Say as well. So we had some Nemesis. We thought we maybe saw Violent. We thought we saw Despair. Everything we thought we saw on that Juno.
Wouldn't be surprised. In the end, it's Guts. Maybe he has multiple Junos. I wouldn't be surprised if he has like a back pocket vampire Juno somewhere laying around as well.
Exactly. I mean, that's for him to know and us to probably never find out unless we can ask him, Say. But that's the whole fun of it, right? We want to see what these guys can bring to the table in order to see the very best of the European players face off against each other. We're actually, I think, very soon, again, so now we're just seeing the actual matches. Soon we'll be able to see the table as well, so we can see exactly where the positioning of these players are from day one. But again, we thought there might be more draws than that, Say, before this.
Yeah, definitely. And we can see here Obabo and Pinkroid taking 5 victories, Hansol taking 4, and then we have Guts following with taking 3 victories. So that is our top 4 right now. We have a lot of people that are kind of slacking at the bottom line, but it's simply because they didn't play yet.
Exactly. You can see right there. Remember, it is just the sets that actually count towards the points. So if you win a set, you get 1 point. Even if you've won, that's just showing exactly that they got those 4 points in total for the wins. So they want to try and get themselves as high into that top 8 as possible to make it through all the way to the playoffs at the very end of the season. As you can see, there's some other names on there that we didn't see today. They will be taking part on their first round in the next league match, which will be on next Wednesday, 8 o'clock, same time, same place. You'll see us for way too long. We'll be here all the time, bringing you the best of the action that can happen here for the European League. Wow, look at that table. Did you think that table would look how it kind of does right now, Say?
I would kind of say that I kind of expected no one to go on clean slate, or at least I would say that I would have been surprised if we would have seen like the 3 big names, Hansol, Obabo, and Pinkroid going like full on like 3-0s, all of those matches. I didn't really expect that, so I definitely did expect a few of those matches to go to 1-1s as we have seen, and I think that also keeps it very nice that way.
Exactly. You can see in front of you the schedule for day 2. That's going to be next Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Same place, same time. We've got some new names on there as well. You've got your Glorious, Raxaz, Nicer Smicer, Sam Bicep, Tito Gofflet, Pafix. Some real heavy hitters that are also part of this league. They'll be doing their first matches next week. Any favorites from there for you, Say?
For me, I'm pretty curious to see if Sam Bicep is able to like get his winning streak through. Like in the end, he played in the first week of qualifiers, didn't make it. He had to play Guts in his final round, I think. And then in the second round, he played another round. And then he actually got all the way through. So definitely a new player to see that I'm very curious to see if he can make it pretty far in this. He definitely has a very strong box with a bunch of LDs. Very nice playstyle. So hoping to see a lot of him.
There we go. But we're casters. We don't have full favorites, Say. We want all of them to do well. Like you said, we all want them to get some points. But
everyone is a winner.
Exactly. But you have to beat the best to be the best. And that's what the people are proving here today. You've got some of those outside wins. Angel managing to take some points there in that match against Hansol. Probably wouldn't have thought that prior to it. So it just shows you have to research. You have to be ready for those matches to make sure that everything is working perfectly for you. Wow. What a week, Say. Or what a day of the week. This is crazy. But remember, guys, we want to hear all of your comments, all of everything about what you've seen today. And obviously, we're not going to leave you empty-handed as well. we're going to be at some point revealing something. So you can also treat yourselves to a little gift as watching us and joining us on this first weekday of the European League, because as Say says, everyone is a winner, right?
Exactly. Also, if during the week you want to keep track of any of the data of the Summoners War European League, there is a website. I'm pretty sure !EL and also !SWEL would work in the chat over here on Twitch. Doesn't work on YouTube, so then you would have to go to Twitch probably. But from there you will find the website that you can keep track of the standings, when the matches are, what are the scheduled for the matches, and all of that kind of good stuff. So definitely check out that website to keep up to date with the current league.
Exactly, especially if you're a statistician, like Say, you'll be wanting to see all of those matches, see exactly, calculate who can win, who can get up the leaderboard in certain aspects, and it probably will come into play further on down the league, especially when we get to the last few matches. That's one of the things. And I think we actually can now reveal the coupon code. So guys, if you haven't seen, there should be a coupon code right below your screen right now, which I believe is 200k mana and 1 mystical scroll.
Yep. It's actually written as 20k mana. It's just missing another 0. You get 200k.
Yes, and then you can roll up some of those runes. Hopefully you'll get to a plus 9 of a nice triple. Get another quad when you put a bit more mana in there. That's what we all like to do, Say, right? It's what we all like to see everybody do.
Yeah, absolutely. So definitely get that one in. It's just free, so why not? Free stuff is always good.
Exactly. We've hoped that you've had an incredible day with us. We've enjoyed every single minute of it, and I hope you have as well, Say. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place, 8 o'clock, Say Shizu's Twitch channel. Ciao.
Thanks a lot for watching.